and welcome to THFC Till I Die. And tonight we're having a look back at Spurs' great win yesterday, our biggest ever Premier League win. And I think, am I right saying, Philip, since 1986?
Yeah, we beat Aston Villa 3-0 that day, and we haven't won by 3 goals on the opening day since that.
So yeah, we're
stuff.
We're here. But welcome everyone. Thank you for dropping in. Joining me is my usual co-hosts, Mark, Philip, and Ellie. How are you guys?
Thank you.
This evening.
All good.
And down below, we're joined by our sister channel from America, Leo and Parker from the Mile House. Well, tell people about your channel, Leo. How are you this evening? And thank you for joining us.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you. By the way, Parker hit it spot on. That intro is freaking lovely. It's a nice intro you guys have there. So my name is Leo, and we're joined with Parker, and together we are Tottenham Hotspur.
We're honored to be part of your channel, to be your American counterpart. So we're honored to be here.
Yeah, we're honoured to have you.
Very welcome.
Yeah, it really is an honour.
Very welcome. Good. Yeah.
Philip, very quickly, how are you yesterday? You still buzzing from yesterday's
game? I landed about 5 o'clock this morning. We went to the end of the runway. I had a very frustrating first 20 minutes, though. I couldn't get a stream to work. And I was listening to the radio commentary. And then Jack Kanicki had kindly sent me the link he had from Peacock, and I got that, and I saw the rest of the game. But it was good. It was good. It was as good as we hoped it would be. And the only downside was we let Southampton score first. But look at the way we reacted. Literally, even the Southampton manager reckoned that there was 2 different classes in that pitch yesterday. We just had a class, totally out of class.
Yeah.
And Mark, you're back off holiday. Did you enjoy the break? And nice to be back. And what you thought the win yesterday? Good?
Yeah, it was excellent. I'm like Philip. I was like, when Southampton scored, I thought, here we go again. Let me down. We've all been built up. All these signings coming in. I thought, here we go again. But to be honest, none of the new signings started. So, I mean, I know they come on in the second half at some stage, but it was all good. It was all good. I mean, last year when we were 1-0 down, we would have got back in the game because they sit deep and they defend, and we couldn't have got through it, but we did. And it was all good. And we are top of the league, which is excellent.
Yeah.
That's good. And Ellie, what's your thoughts on the game yesterday? We will go into it, but what's your first reaction to yesterday and the Premier League is back?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a game of 2 halves because we were in the first half. It was just that we conceded quite early and then we had to recover. It was like a little bit of a shock to the team, but they backed up their ideas. And when Conte got hold of them in the dressing room, there was only one winner, really, because I'm thinking he's threatening him with something Italian, like the Godfather. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's
probably
waking his
up.
balls in his cheeks, and he said something to them.
We had 4 horses' heads ordered.
Yeah.
I don't know what Philip was just about to say. That horse's head next to you.
I know, because they came out like the fire in their belly, and it was amazing. Their pressing, especially, and their aggression.
Sessegnon scored when he did the first kick of the second half, but it was disallowed for offside.
Yeah.
That shows you what it was said at half time.
Well, we will go in there. We'll talk about the team. We'll get your thoughts on the team and also your player ratings as we go through it as well. Just want to quickly thank our Patreon members. A big up to of course Philip and Ellie and Mark, and of course Izan, who are Patreon members. There's 3 different tiers. There's a Sun membership. There's the THFC Till I Die. That's Philip Brady's membership. And then there's the Harry Kane membership, which Ellie is now a proud member of that as well. So if you want to become a Patreon member, the link is on the YouTube channel, and you get to pick which member each channel you want. And also, we are in the possession of getting mugs out. So once you become a member, you will get a mug. So that will be coming out very soon. Cool. Just go through some of the comments here. as well. And I'll just get them up. Right, we've got Eugene. Good evening, Eugene. He says, hi, everyone.
Eugene.
Big up. Just dropped in to click on the like. Thank you very much. Please hit that like button and subscription button. But hit the like button. It means a lot. Yeah. We have Adrian Soko. Good evening, all. Good evening.
Hi.
This guy, I love his name. I really do.
White Hart Lane.
White Hart Lane. I absolutely love it. He says, brilliant. Hi, guys. Hey, and big up. And
how we doing, right?
Yeah, and we've got late Nick Lazy, who does our intros, who helps me with the thumbnails. We'd be lost without you, Nick. We rarely would, but thank you for everything you do for us. So big up, Nick. And again, we've got Paul Basty. I'm still buzzing. Morning on cause. Big up, Paul. Thank you for coming back and joining us again. We've got Bob Coys. Big up, Bob. He says, good evening, all Coys. Big up there. And we've got Paul. Where is it? Paul here. He says, caught you mile high, guys, yesterday. Nice job, guys. But cheers.
Yeah,
Paul.
thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
And Lazy Nick says, after Dyer's goal winning, the look on the Southampton manager's face says, I'm on borrowed time.
You won't even attempt it.
True.
Yeah. He looked quite, I must admit, he looked quite dapper in his suit yesterday. He looked like he was going for a job interview.
Yeah.
I like that vest he was wearing.
Will be on Monday. Yeah. That's won one game in the last 14 or something. There'll be terrible record in the last.
Yeah.
Got Shamu, big up Shamu. He said, wasn't so bad getting up at 2 a.m. for that. What a game. Kulu top quality. Major improvement for Sess. Yeah, absolutely. Big up Shamu.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we've got Simon here. Big up Simon from Premier Hotspur TV. Please, everyone go over to his channel and hit the subscription on his. He says, evening, guys. Hope you're all well and up for the mighty Yids. Come on, Coys. Big up, Simon. And here we've got JC. Hello, guys. Great channel, great result yesterday. Great weather. What more could you ask for, Coys?
Yeah.
And then we've got Shamu. It looks like he looks like a used car salesman of an insurance.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
And we've got William Kelly. Big up, William.
The Oracle.
The Oracle. That's true, Ellie, actually, yeah.
It's called that.
Yeah. I think he's been called a few things. I want to know how his date went the other night, actually. So let us know, William, how that went. The thing, he'd probably kill me for saying that. The things that impressed me the most was that not one of the new signings started. Genius from Conte. Now competition for places has started.
Yeah.
And Philip, what do you say to William Kelly? It's a great point to start the show. And do you agree with him?
Absolutely. It's a brilliant point. I mean, it shows you the psychological, well, not psychological warfare, so I'm looking for a different word, psychological effect Conte is having on this team. Because if he'd have played any of the new guys to start yesterday, the guy he replaced would be on a downer. But now what he's done is he put the old guard in and told the new guard, it's up to you to displace the old guard. And that is absolutely brilliant. Because now in the competition for places, those guys are going to be breaking the gut in training every day now to try and impress the boss and get in the team. And that's only can be good for the squad for the season ahead. No lethargy. Nobody is sure of their place. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly. Leo, what would you say to William Kelly? Would you agree what Philip said? And also, do you agree what William Kelly says?
Yeah, I think it would be detrimental if we were to have a completely different 11 side. The added competition is definitely only going to bring positive results to our squad. You want to have that problem as a manager, I would believe. The headache of seeing who am I going to choose, and not only that, the locker room has to be a better environment now that there is competition. You get to have these people that have their spot always solidified, and I would assume they almost get too comfortable with their spot, and they get too comfortable, and that would make for not the best environment. So I'm pretty happy that these guys are going to have to be on their toes. And it definitely showed yesterday that the 11 that started do not want to be on the bench. And that's what Conte, I'm assuming, at the end of the day, wants.
Yeah.
I think...
Sorry. Go on, Parker. Go on. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think It's crazy how much confidence can change a player. I think Conte said of our starting 11, we got some new players over the summer, but I want you guys to start. I really have confidence in you guys. And you could just see the difference in Sess and Royal. If you give them that confidence to say, look, I trust you. I want you guys to start. It's crazy what we can do with those players that we didn't really trust before the game. So,
Can you imagine if you take it back to last November, right? 3 of the most criticised players in the Spurs squad at that stage were, because of what happened under Nuno, were Eric Dyer, Emerson Royal, and Ben Davis. All 3 of them in the starting 11 yesterday.
Yeah.
And what has Conte done to those guys? He has. Yeah. I don't know what he's done to them. He's reborn them. He's rejuvenated them. And I mean, I know Eric Dyer isn't everybody's cup of tea, and he does make mistakes. But I'll tell you one thing: he deserves to be in the England squad for the World Cup. Ahead of nearly every centre back they have at the moment.
Yeah,
I mean, if Harry Maguire gets picked against ahead of Eric Dyer for that squad, I give up.
And that's no bias either, not just because we're Spurs fans.
No, that's just that. I'm not a huge fan of Eric Dyer, but I think he got credit where it's due. He absolutely was an absolute rock yesterday in that defence, and to score the goal that he did, that was a very good header.
It was.
Oof. It's as if he kind of knew himself and nearly worked it out. I mean, there's no saving that header at all.
It was a low cross by Son, like he knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I know.
Mark, how did you think Emerson and Sessegnon did on the wing backs? Do you think they did well, or do you think this is another chance for Chelsea?
Well, from what I saw of it, they did their jobs. Emerson was bombing up there as well, which we never saw, hardly ever. And
Emerson was brilliant.
Yeah. He did his bit as well.
Very well.
To be honest, the whole team did good. Yeah, in my opinion.
Ellie, with Sessegnon playing on the left, did he look like the player that was when he was at Fulham? That sort of thing. He got his goal yesterday. He looked full of confidence. Yeah. Are we going to see the best of Sessegnon now? And do you think we are okay in the left wing back now on the left side of the defence now with Perisic and Sessegnon?
Yeah, like Parker said, confidence is so important in football. If you've got confidence, and I've been watching Sess, right, in pre-training, he's building his strength up so that he can actually get past the players and have the physicality to go past them. But not only that, it's obviously Conte's said to him, look, this is your chance. It's a clean slate. You've had your critics. Go in there and prove everybody wrong. So they've got an incentive, and then they've got the Godfather in Conte instilling in them such confidence. And I find that each player is stepping up because they know if they fall short, their asses are going to be chopped. Because Conte is not a sentimental manager. If he feels that they're not giving 100%, just like Bill Nicholson did, right? If he feels that they're dropping short, he'll drop them. So everybody's on their guard now. Now we've got a bigger test against Chelsea. That's the proof of the pudding. If we come out there with a draw or a win, I'll be happy. Obviously, the win would be fantastic because we haven't beaten them for a while, and we were atrocious last season against them. We didn't have put a glove on them. Did we?
No, but you remember the Wolves game, the famous Wolves game that we went to?
Don't bring me back down. Getting twitches.
But you remember after 23 minutes?
So am I. My eyes twitching.
Yeah.
And he had to walk the whole round the pitch.
I remember that, yeah.
I never felt as sorry for a player in all my life. And I said, that's him finished. Yeah. I really thought that was him finished at Spurs. So fair dues to the young lad. He's buckled down. He's got on with it. And look where he is now.
I mean, going back to that, I mean, fair play to the crowd, though. They all stood up and clapped.
Oh, the crowd gave him a huge applause because the Puffin must have been dying inside.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Ricky Villa when he made that walk in the cup final. Yeah. It was so much like that. And he was landing on the pit, he wasn't walking with confidence. And now look at him.
Yeah.
Everybody was doubting him, but he's going to prove a lot of his critics wrong now.
Yeah, and what I mean,
it's really
what a cross by Kulichevsky for the goal. I mean, that was just
brilliant.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Sexy.
It's almost as if, he's got somewhat of a new lease on life with Ivan Perisic. He probably knows that Ivan Perisic is there to take his spot, but at the same time, he's also probably really aware that Ivan Perisic is there to help him, to guide him, to show him the ropes. So as long as he doesn't get offended by the fact that, hey, young man, you might lose your position to an experienced veteran, but you have to capitalize on that, it could be really good for him. A lot of fans still hold Sessegnon in high regards. He was bought as a youngin. He's still very young. So a lot of fans he's got for me at least, he's got a sentimental value, just like a lot of the rest of the guys. So I think that's why, like, when he did that walk against Wolves, a lot of people clapped for him because we feel sorry for him, and it's not like sorry in a bad way. It's in a, we know you can come through, come of age, So I think that's why the Spurs fans, like myself, we hold him in high regards, and I want nothing but the best for Sess. He's definitely looking like it's looking like he's gonna learn. It's looking like he wants to learn at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not only Sess that we're feeling sorry for that day against Wolves. We're feeling sorry for ourselves as well. After watching that performance.
All I remember of that day, Philip, it was wet. It was miserable. I went to Tottenham Hale and we were stood outside because there was a big fight inside the train station between Tottenham and Wolves fans. I mean, I had the full package that day. I had everything.
I ended up sitting next to a Wolves fan on the flight home.
Yeah.
I tried to pull my jacket over my shirt so he wouldn't know I was a Spurs fan. In the end, he copped it on, and we had to talk about the match. I wish that was the longest flight I was ever on in my life, and it was only an hour.
I don't know about you, Philip, but we're on the planes, and the planes were full of Tottenham fans. They just come out of everywhere.
Yeah, and I get sitting next to a Wolves fan.
I know.
Man.
You just you drew the short straw, Philip.
Oh
my God.
Right.
That was last season. This is now. We're going to have the next time to play them.
I just want to bring up some of the stats from yesterday, just to fill everyone in. It was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We won 4-1. Sessegnon died, and then a lone goal by Southampton, and Kulichevsky then got the winner. And really, I mean, if you look at some of these stats, I mean, I'll start with you, Philip. I mean, 71. I mean, shots on target 8-2.
Yeah.
Saves 1 and then 5 at Southampton. I mean, some of these stats are sort of on. I mean, attacking. Here we go. Passes 4-7-1 to 3-3-7. Everything is so much better from last season, isn't it? And is that
one with the bookings?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm fine with that.
Do you put that down, Philip, to a very good pre-season for Conte?
Well, I mean, I know we were a bit frustrated possibly with the Roma match. The Israeli match, I think, to be honest with you, that was a purely commercial exercise going out to Tel Aviv. And I see if it had been on this weekend, it would have been postponed because of the unrest out there. So anyway, that's unfortunate. But I think the pre-season in Korea was an absolute masterstroke. Because there's 12 million Spurs fans in Korea, they reckon. And if 1% of them buy a shirt, it'll work out the maths. So we're huge in Korea. I don't regard the matches as that particularly important. I think it's the fact that Conte's biggest gripe last season was he hadn't had a pre-season with any of the players. This season, he got his new signings in early. He had a pre-season with most of them, and I think we saw the results of that yesterday. Never mind the friendlies; it's what goes on in the training ground that matters. And it's very, very positive to see the way we responded yesterday. When we scored 4, we could have had 7 or 8.
You could see our fitness level was so much higher than it was last year. I think it's because of our preseason training where he absolutely killed our players, and you could see that in the game. Like we just had so much more energy than Southampton by the end of the game. Southampton were dead, and so.
Like I've been saying for the last few weeks, is what I want to see with the opposition teams at the end of a game. They want to get off that pitch and straight onto the coach. They don't even bother having a shower. They've got such a hammer and they want to get away from it as quickly as possible. And that was Southampton yesterday. That was what happened
Your
yesterday.
wish came true, Philip.
Yeah. Ellie, I'll go.
Yes.
I'll go to you, and then I'll go to everyone else after this. If you look at the
Okay.
shots and the shots on target, we had 18 shots, 8 on target, 10 corners. That was last season. We could only dream under that under Nuno. What has
Yeah.
Conte brought to the team that's changed? That I mean, we'd like playing like the old Spurs way. What do you think Conte's brought to the team?
They're
that's
having
changed
fun.
Everything, Ellie.
Yeah, like Parker says, they're having fun, but also he's drilled them. He's got their fitness up. He does quick passes. He knows how to press. He knows how to play wing-back football as well, what he demands from his wing-backs, because that's very important in the Conte side. So we're getting everything gelled together, so it's all going into fruition. And with those stats, you can see it's the Conte effect.
Yeah.
The Conte effect is fabulous, and every club he's been at, he's done it. It's not a fluke. He's a meticulous manager. He works on certain things. We've got our set piece coaching in place as well. We've got the guy who's called the Marine, training them, getting them lean and mean. And then you've got Conte. He's got a master brain. He's a master footballer himself. So, he's a born winner, the guy. So he's rubbing off on our team. So long may these 4-1 victories continue.
And Mark, and you on Conte and the team yesterday before we actually get into the crops of the show. How do you think what's changed from, say, Nuno to now, from the start of last season to the start yesterday? What do you think is the biggest change you've seen?
Well, it's obviously like Ellie just said. It's the fitness. It's the fitness. The way we played yesterday, it reminded me of when Potter was manager, and we were just fitter than all the teams. We'd outrun them, we'd chase them down. The pressing from the front. Get the ball back. Get the ball back, like high up the pitch. Yeah. There was a lot of that yesterday where we'd just be flying it, I mean, and there were several times in the game where Eric Dyer would be in the box. You think, what are you doing there? Or Ben Davis would turn up.
Ben Glade too.
And Sess was in there a lot. And you think, you're meant to be defending, but they'd be up there and they could get back. It reminded me a lot of when Potter was manager and we were just fitter than the other teams. The season when we were undefeated, when we went undefeated at home. Because we still be running after 100 minutes, 120. And the other teams would be dead on their feet, basically. We were just fitter than all of them.
That is so true. Right, this first, Ellie's helped me with most of the questions, so thank you, Ellie, for helping me and doing everything.
My pleasure.
I'll start with you, Leo, and then I go Park, then you go Philip, and then Mark, and you, Ellie. Do you think we have enough to mount a title challenge, or do we need more signings? And if so, who would you like to see come in? I'll start with you, Leo.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for us to mount a good title challenge if we don't bring in a commanding center back to fit in the middle of the three. Can we do it without somebody coming in? Of course we can. We're just going to have to score a lot more goals than the other teams because the other teams are going to score goals on us. So if it's going to be a dogfight and we're going to be punching and scrapping, then I have faith in our front line to be able to win the title for us. It would just be a hell of a lot easier if we had a big, strong presence in the back there to help counter all the goals that we will let in if we don't bring somebody in. I just wanted to touch too on the topic of the fitness of the players. Did any of you guys see the Southampton manager afterwards? He gave in his presser. He said Spurs just clicked into another gear and we just couldn't catch him after that. So that there is telling a lot. The fact that another Premier League team, albeit a Southampton, said this team stepped it up a notch, went to another level, and they were gone. We couldn't catch up to that. So that there in itself is really good. to hear. That's news to my. I mean, that's great news to my ears. If I'm honest with you guys.
Yeah.
True.
Parker, do you think we can mount a title challenge this year?
Absolutely. I mean, we have Conte, don't we? So I think before the season started, before this first game, I was a little nervous. I wasn't sure. I was definitely hoping we would get a couple more players before the first game. And after that game, I kind of changed my mind. I think all of our players are really stepping up. Dyer's stepping up, and I was a little bit nervous about him. Like Leo said, I think we do need some backup in there. We need a, I know we have Lenglet to come in, but I don't want Sanchez to be one of our substitutes. I want somebody else to be able to come in and if we need it. So, but yeah, I think Conte really does have his sights on the title.
Yeah,
I think he said in a press conference he wants to win the Premier League and the Champions League this year, which that's saying a lot, but
lovely dream, but one of them would do. Philip, what do you say to Chris's comment here? Title charge is unlikely. We need a quality centre back and a possible white wing back. And who would you like us to bring in?
Well, I'm normally the most positive and proactive person. Somebody's cutting the grass next to you. And I would my feeling on the title challenge. We will challenge for the title this season. Definitely, we will challenge. We won't win it, right? But we will next season, I think, because what's going to happen this season, this is going to be the season where the players really get more belief in themselves, that they can challenge for the title. The old inferiority complex, the lads, it's Tottenham thing, consigned to history. We do need another centre-back at least, and I'm hoping that's going to happen by the end of the transfer window, as I'm sure it will. Because, I mean, let's face it, you don't let Joe Rodon go out on loan and possibly Tanganga on loan without having a replacement lined up. So I'm very, very confident that someone like Milenkovic will come in. We keep praying for Bastoni, but that's hardly going to happen. We get another centre-back in and possibly an attacking midfielder. Then we will go, I'd say we'll finish third this season with a cup. But next season, that is the season where I think Conte is really going to really, really go for it. And I wouldn't be surprised if we win the league next year. It'd be great if we did it this year, but I really think it could be a bridge too far. But we are going to have a very successful tournament, very successful season.
Yeah, did you see, Philip, that the rumours go around that Mourinho is after the 5 players that we want gone? Lascelles, Ndombele,
perfect,
and Tantanga, and who was the other one? Well, anyway, I think there's 4, and Mourinho as an eye in all 4 of them. I mean, that'd be brilliant.
I think that absolutely justifies us sacking him if he wants them back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, listen, the brilliant players, Jose, take them. We're very sorry to get rid of them, please take them off our hands. Oh, God, that's amazing we got them, but surely, that's got to be, it's not April Fool's Day, is it?
No, I think it's because of the deal we're going after their, what's his name? Is it Zanioli. And apparently trying to get a few of them players in to make the deals, sort of thing. So,
but could this not be a lazy press day? Some journalist sitting there, Spurs want Zaniolo, whatever you call it. Actually, we'll make up the Roma that want Ndombele and the Chelsea.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, there's very few people I would believe these rumors from, and I haven't seen anybody that I've actually put any faith in coming out with that sort of stuff yet. Maybe you never know. Stranger things have happened. Not much, but stranger things have happened.
Mark, we've signed Destiny. He will be signing for us this week. Destiny, you Gooey. I think he's going to go back on loan again. Who would you like to see us bring in for a centre back? And the question of, can we mount a challenge for the title this year?
Personally, you got to remember Liverpool and Man City are miles ahead of us.
Yeah,
miles ahead of us, and so I don't. If we can get third, like Philip said, and win a trophy, that's good. That's good because we're still behind Liverpool and City.
Yeah.
We do need another centre back. Definitely. I'd like to have seen Bastoni, but he's not coming. He's got to do it. Is that the one who's got to do another year and he gets his Italian nationality or
It
something.
is, I think it's him. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's an Inter fan as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I
would
can't see
you?
us getting it.
Who would you like? I mean, you happy with our right back situation? I mean, if or not, or
Well, Royal did okay yesterday, and you got Doherty as well. And before he got injured, he was on fire. I mean, you had pictures of him like with Maradona's shirt on. You know?
yeah, he is the Irish Cafu. I will give him that, but he never plays so well for us, does he, Philip? Somehow.
No, well, not really. No, well, hopefully this season he will. You know.
Yeah, running around with the number 10 on his back.
Can I just say he doesn't cheat as much as Maradona? Let's get that in from a few shows.
Look, Mark, look, Maradona didn't cheat, all right? It came off the top of his head. We can have that discussion all night long.
Yes.
Okay? Maradona is a better player than Pele. You lost.
No, certainly not. Definitely
Me
not.
and Ellie won that bet.
I agree with Dermot.
Put it to bed and just
Maradona.
Accept
Maradona over Pele, I agree.
You're not old enough.
I'm going to go with Pele. I'm going to go with Pele.
I had a poll with my brothers, and it was 5-2 to Maradona with my brothers.
All right. Okay.
Leo, who do you choose?
5 brothers and 2 cousins, actually.
If I was to choose out of Pele and Maradona, I'd go with Maradona for sure.
Yes, well done, Leo.
Just because I've seen different type of like mini docs about Pele. One of them said that he scored a ton of goals, but he never played against European teams, which he actually played almost over 200 games against European competition, and he did good. But I think there's a lot of mystery surrounding, a lot of controversy surrounding Pele's goals that he has. So even though I guess I could say the most controversial goal is the one that came off of Maradona's hair. So
hang on.
It was fun hair follicle.
Philip, we've got Paul Pablo, big up Paul, and big up Chris as well. Thanks for joining, Chris. I hope you're well, man. I'll let me know how Newcastle is after beating Forest yesterday. I bet they're cock-a-hoop up there. He's talking about the Crystal Palace defender Anderson has a touch of the French Beckenbauer. We should have bought him when we were looking at him. He's an ideal, another one we let go. I mean, would you be happy to see Anderson at the club, or do you think?
To be honest, I don't know much about the guy. I don't really, don't really know much about him. But all I can say is, with our scouting network having been increased and modified since Paratici came in, I'm sure he was looked at, and for whatever reason, they didn't pursue it. So we've got to trust the guys that make the decisions there. I think.
Is that the one who was on loan? He was on loan at Palace, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And they bought him from, was it a Dutch team? Or?
No, he was on loan at Fulham, I think, first.
Oh,
and then he got transferred to Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
No, I still think our centre back's going to come from the Italian league. There we go.
Yeah.
Leo, you've got to pop off. So do you want to plug, or do you want to leave that to Parker to plug the channel?
Well, yeah, I'm just gonna sign off. I'm gonna go do some stuff while I can during the weekend. I have a busy week ahead of me, so I gotta get this issue fixed today. Parker, just you hold it down for us. I know you can, my man. I got no worries about you doing it. You hold your weight real strong, brother. So just represent for Mile High and for THFC till I die. Everybody who's watching in the chat, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Definitely give them a like. Dermot, Ellie, what was the other 2 names? I'm sorry.
Philip,
Mark and
Philip and Mark.
Mark and Philip, yeah. I can't see the handles, but you guys, it was definitely a pleasure. I look forward to hopping on a different day and chatting about a lot of different stuff. So, I appreciate you, Dermot, and we'll be in contact, you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Leo. Thanks for popping
Thank you, Leo.
See you later, Leo.
Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah. Right. Philip, I'll start with you on this one. Are you disappointed we haven't seen much of Djed Spence? and didn't get on yesterday either. Do you think Conte's sort of using him for the future?
Yeah, I mean he's only in the club a couple of weeks. Yeah, I don't think he'll be eased in gradually. In fact, I have a feeling we might not see him until the Carabao Cup starts.
Yeah.
You know, and get him acclimatized. Like he's coming from playing in a championship to playing in the Premiership. It's a big jump for a young lad like that. He'll probably come on as a sub in the games and maybe we're winning comfortably just to bet him in a wee bit. But I don't see him making a serious charge for a while yet. He is one for the future.
Yeah, he really is. Chris says, she says, well done. I walked through the city centre with a Spurs shirt on in Newcastle. What were at home, they were all drunk after being celebrating like they won the league. Oh, Lord.
Good for them, though. Good for them.
I tell you, if there's one team I would like, one other team I'd like to see win the cup this year, win Newcastle.
Yeah.
I think I would love them to see win something.
Yeah.
Because they've got great supporters.
The fans deserve it. They didn't deserve to have an idiot like Mike Ashley in charge of them for so many years.
Yeah.
And we think we're bad. My God, he was the absolute drain on that club.
Yeah,
he was.
It just makes me laugh because Mike Ashley's a big Spurs fan, and so is Eddie Howe. So it's just weird.
I didn't know that.
That's probably big easy on us up there.
Yeah, they're both big Spurs fans.
We'll take our players. Take Winks.
Yeah. You can have Winks. You can have Les Celso. You can have Mr. Burger King. You can have.
I was just thinking that when Chris says that I'm walking down to Newcastle in a Spurs shirt, I always remember the joke about this guy dies and goes to heaven, and he's got a Celtic shirt on him. And some people ask him, to get into heaven, you've got to prove you did something very brave. He says, I walked into Ibrox Park wearing a Celtic jersey. Oh, that's very good. He said, when did you do that? About 30 seconds ago.
He won't be able to live to tell the story later.
Yeah.
We have Ellie's niece in the building. Big up, Julia. Julia, and she's saying we look so good on Saturday. When we go down, I got so nervous, but something changed in me this season. I just knew we would come back and win. This season, big things are coming. There really are big things are coming. I'll go to you, Ellie, next. Djed Spence. There's a big wrangling. It took forever to get the transfer done. I think he's a real player for me. I saw a lot of him last season for Nottingham Forest. I think he could be the next Kyle Walker, personally, myself. And do you think, as Philip said, we just see him in the cups, or do you think Conte's letting him, like the rest of the new signings, get fitter, get within the squad, and then we could see him in the Premier League game?
Yeah, I think he's going to get his chance. Probably you're correct in the cup competitions at first, but I think if he steps up and proves himself, I was a bit disappointed that he wasn't put in, but I can understand Conte's feeling of not putting him in because it's a big, like you said, it is a big step, but I want to see him because I know he is an improvement on Emerson and he is an improvement on Doherty, and this boy, he's going to fly. As soon as he gets his chance, he's going to take it because he's a very confident lad.
Yeah,
and he's got a skill set that none of the other right wing backs have got, and he's a proper right wing back. That's what he's been playing all his life.
He's got that talent.
Yeah, and he knows Cess very well. He was with him at Fulham, so I'm just waiting to see him. I'm so excited. I want to see him fly down that wing and put in a beautiful cross. Once he gets his chance, like I said, he'll take it with flying colours.
Yeah. He really will. Mark, Spence, for me, as I said, is great for the potential for the future. Is he a player that excites you? Or what do you think of Spence? And do you think Conte will use him this season, as Philip said, in the Cups or some of the league games later on?
Yeah.
But do you think by next season he could be a regular right wing back?
Well, as Philip said, and I've said on a few of our streams, you can't tell me that Conte had a list of right wing backs that he wanted, and Djed Spence was number 1 on his list. No one can tell me that because he's only, what, 18? Is he 18 or 19 or it might be 20?
I think he's 21.
22.
Yeah.
I think, or 22.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, however old he is, you can't tell me he was top of the list.
No, he wouldn't have been.
He wouldn't have been. You know, and it's like when we signed him, Antonio said it's a signing for the club. You know? So Mr. Levy obviously said, "Oh, we'll buy him, he's cheap." You know, instead of the one that he really wanted that would have cost twice as much. You know, so well, I hope he does well, obviously. Any player that comes to us, I hope they do well. You know, but he's an unproven thing at the moment. You know, you never know. He might come in and rip it up, but he might be awful. Who knows?
Parker, with Spence being either like a Levy signing, some people saying it's a Conte signing for next season. I mean, I don't believe myself it was a Levy signing. I'm sure it was a joint decision between Conte, Paratici. I'm sure they had their say in it. Do you think that with the players, especially like Spence, have we bought well this transfer window? And are you impressed with the business we've done?
I am impressed. You know, I can say when I'm wrong. And before this first game, you know, I wasn't very happy, but I think Spence is going to be a great addition eventually. I think we just need to give him some time for Conte to kind of like get used to his play, and see what he's really capable of. Because like Mark said, you know, it wasn't his signing, but I think you just give him some time. And I cannot wait to see Sessegnon on the left and Spence on the right. I think that's just going to look so great. I mean, we got Perisic for free compared to Cucurella that was $60-something million. So yeah, we're always pretty smart, pretty sensible when it comes to the transfer business and how much we spend. So I even think Spence was pretty cheap for his age and, you know, what we can get out of him. So yeah, and like Ellie said, he's a proper right wing back.
Yeah,
that's what Conte wants.
Yeah,
I just wanted to add, like, you know, when we had Danny Rose and Carl Walker, both of them were fresh off the press. Not many of us knew about them. We signed Carl Walker with Carl Norton, and look how he soared, didn't he? So you've got to give these players a chance. Some of them flop, but I'm sure Conte will have him in his sights. He's got him there, and he knows he's got the talent. He's just got to nurture him and bring him up to the level that he needs to be. Because obviously he would have played him if he was there already. He would have.
I'll tell you one thing too.
Yeah.
To finish what Mark was saying there. Okay, he mightn't have been Conte's number 1 choice for fullback, right? But Conte would have vetoed the signing if he didn't want him. So he must have been somewhere on the list, maybe not the top of it, but Conte's obviously happy enough to buy him, because I think the days of Levy buying a player and telling the manager, right, I'm after buying this guy for you. I don't want him. He wouldn't get away with that with Conte.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
exactly.
Definitely not.
And also, Philip, I go back to you, Mark, with the same question. When he was at Middlesbrough, the manager then sent him to Forest because something to do with his attitude. Does that worry you that he might have a bad attitude, or do you think Conte will knock that out of him?
I'd say he's knocked it out of him already.
Yeah.
To be honest, you know, I mean, this is a huge signing. This is a huge move for Djed Spence, and if he's got any delusions of grandeur, for want of a better phrase, he'll soon leave him at the dressing room door. Because I'll tell you one thing: the likes of Romero, Perisic, and Højbjerg wouldn't stand for any prima donnas coming into the dressing room saying, "I'm better than you are, and I've got this and I've got that." He'll have the sharp edges knocked off him very quickly. He really did.
Yeah, a lot of people had bad attitudes at 19 years old, 19 years of age too. So he's got some.
Back to what I said earlier there about what Ivan Perisic said in an interview on TV the other day. He's only at Spurs a few weeks, but he feels like he's been there 5 years now. Such is the camaraderie and friendship and what's the word I'm looking for?
Important.
Determination in that dressing room at the moment, which is brilliant to hear that, because when you look at Manchester United, who are in absolute chaos at the minute, because of all the various cliques in the dressing room.
Can't imagine.
We don't have that. Conte will not allow that. He will not allow that.
You look at Dele Alli yesterday. I mean, did you see the chance he missed? Did you see? It was just, I actually laughed, and I don't like laughing at former players of ours, but I laughed at Dele Alli because I thought to myself, I mean, there's a prime example. He had it all in his hands. He had everything at his feet, and he's just blown it.
It's absolutely sad.
It's devastating. But I don't know if you saw that match yesterday, Philip, and the rest of the panel, but if you did, what did you think of Dele Alli? I mean, how shocked are you to see how much he's declined, even since he's left us?
Well, first of all, he's not even trusted to go into the starting 11 at Everton. No. I mean, let's look at this. That's probably the worst Everton team has been in the last 50 years. And Dele Alli cannot get into the starting 11. So that speaks volumes. And when he came on to change the game. He nearly did change it in Chelsea's favour. He gave away the ball once and Chelsea nearly scored from it. I'm always sorry to see a Spurs player go from being the next best thing to what he is at the moment. He's a shadow of what he used to be, and it's sad. Very sad.
It is. Mark, I don't like talking about previous players, and that's the history, and he done great at that club. But just, it's like Spence. It's all about attitude, isn't it? And do you think that Dele Alli's just got now a bad attitude? And is that because of the players we did have at the club, a bit the likes of URA who left out, some of the bad apples that were in that club? Do you think Dele sort of looked at them and thought that's the way to be?
I think Dele got involved in all the social media side of it. He was too busy on Instagram and TikTok and whatever else there is to be bothered about playing football. But he should realise, to keep up his levels, he's got to constantly perform. You know, you don't just, all right, you know, he can't just sort of get to the top, because he was excellent for us a few games. I remember the 2 goals against Chelsea. I think he supplied. It's unbelievable.
The commentator yesterday during the match made the most pertinent comment. He says Dele Alli was selected by Gareth Southgate for the England World Cup semi-final in 2018.
What a downgrade.
It's like a fall from grace.
The point I'm trying to make, Ellie, is that Conte won't let the younger players go like that. You look at Troy Parrott. He's really come out of his shell.
Troy Parrott was in a bad way 2 years ago. He got mixed up with a gang here in Ireland. Not with gang members, but with sons of the gang members, and it did not go out well on them at all. He's ditched that friendship now, and now I'd say Troy Parrott will be an asset to Spurs when he comes back next season.
Yeah. And he'd be an asset for us as well, Philip. I think he really will be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think Conte now will have something in place in the dressing room, Ellie, that there's no room for egos, there's no room for bad apples? It's all for one for all sort of thing. We win as a team and we lose as a team, but we'll all stick together. Do you think Conte sort of brought that balance in where probably under Mourinho there were players attacking each other, he liked them at odds? Do you think it's about time that he's bringing harmony, and the likes of Spence will come into that? He will improve as a player for the seasons going forward at our club?
Do you know what I think he's been doing? I think he's been reading Bill Nicholson's manual, right? Yeah. Because basically he's come in and he wants to gel everybody together. Like we're a big family, we're a club, and we'll stick together. We win, like you said, we win together, we draw together, we lose together, right? And he's brought in that ethos, hard work, determination. Make sure you give 100% every single game. Otherwise, you're going to get dropped. And he probably tells them that verbally. You know, maybe he doesn't do it as a group. He might go to individuals, you know, who he knows can take that sort of language. The younger guys, he probably puts an arm around them like he's their father. But one thing's for sure, Conte's a winner. He knows how to win, and he's instilled that mentality, because mentality is important in football. when you go on that pitch, if you haven't got the right mental state, you can fall apart as a team. We've seen it with Dele Alli.
Yeah.
You know, he's got all the talent in the world. We've seen it with Ndombele, all the talent in the world. What do they do with it? They waste it because they're not focused. Focus and mentality. That's what you need as a footballer, right? And you don't have to be the best footballer in the world, but if you gel as a team, you could be the best team in the world.
Yeah.
Look at the way Harry Kane came out against Nuno. When Nuno left, Harry Kane said he'd only spoken to him on one-to-one twice. Now, Nuno was at the club 4 months. To speak to your best player only twice.
Yes.
I think Conte is a great man manager. He goes around, he puts his arm around the player. He'll ask him if they've got any problems. Are they happy? He talks to everybody. And that is a secret of
I remember when he took off Son last season, and Son was a little bit upset about it. He put his arm around him. And made him, we got a game coming up.
Father figure.
Games, so he.
Graham Roberts reiterated what you just said, Philip, as well. He actually said it at the Le Banqueting suite. He said that he never spoke to even like Harry Kane. He's the top dog at Spurs. Right, he didn't want any extra, what's the word I'm looking for? He didn't want any extra preference from the manager. All he wanted to be one of the lads, because that's what Harry Kane's like. He's not got an ego, but for Nuno to do that to him is dreadful. No wonder he wanted out.
I mean, you look at the Bill Nick, how Bill Nick did his team. It was the house on the Bill Nick. Bill Nick said, right, you go out, you're playing for the fans. They pay your wages. They're the ones that you play for. Do you think Conte's got that sort of attitude that he's following what Bill Nick did?
Definitely.
And you see when he comes onto the pitch at the end, he's hugging every player, every individual player, hugs them or shakes their hand. And you can see the respect he has for them, but you also can see the respect that they have for him.
Yeah, he gets the fans off their seat, He gets them off their seat. He celebrates.
Yeah.
He gets people excited.
The fans aren't giving it enough. You'll see him with the crowd going like that to them.
Yeah.
What I like about it is when Spurs score, he does a 20-yarder down the touchline. But Nuno, when he scored on the Nuno.
Oh, no. Against Arsenal, he was like this.
He was rubbish.
I was so angry.
That is why
he didn't give a hoot.
He's managed the team in Saudi Arabia, I think.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he survived the Arsenal match, because he just stood there like that with his arms crossed, not a clue on earth of what to do and how to change things around.
That wasn't him. That was a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
We never got rid of him.
Yeah.
That's why I christened him last season the Garden Gnome. That's where that comes from.
If we had never gotten rid of Nuno, where would we be right now?
We would have been last season.
In a shambles.
We would have been where Leeds were holding relegation on the last day of the season. That's where we would have been.
And we would have been Kaneless as well. He would have slinged his hook. Haaland wouldn't be there, or he'd be joining Haaland in Man City's attack. That's where he would have been.
Exactly.
We've got a few people saying about Dele Alli. Another thing is that the youth factor Dele Alli peaked too early. I mean, that's another way.
Yeah. Could have.
And he's saying Michael Owen is another one. So let me bring it up there. Michael Owen peaked very young, but his situation was down to recurring knee ligament injuries. Yeah, and it was down to injuries.
Yeah.
Dele Alli's sort of attitude is down to money and fortnight, apparently.
Yeah.
Because Michael Owen was an ultimate professional. Even when he went to Man United, and he had these dodgy knees, he still was giving 100%.
Yeah.
So very good professional player.
Yeah, didn't he win the league for Manchester United at one point?
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
Do you blame
in his first season?
What's that, Dennis?
Do you blame Poch for not enough discipline when he was manager for the likes of Ali, the younger players?
Oh, God. It's very hard to watch over them 24/7. I mean, if Dele Alli was coming in and doing his bit in training and he was training well, unless something came to the manager's attention, he probably wasn't aware of what was going on. Unless he was following social media all the time, I think there are other people in the club that are monitoring that sort of thing, and maybe they should have brought it to Poch's attention maybe earlier than they did, or maybe they didn't bring it to his attention at all. Because I know the clubs have very strict policies on social media, what players put up there and what they don't. So I think that might have been a little bit lax, But then again, for all the peaking early, for this, that, and the other, Dele Alli got a second chance when he went to Everton, and he's not taking it for whatever reason.
I mean, where that one chance yesterday where he was on in goal and he just completely fluffed it. That's just Dele Alli. And he got up, sort of shrugged his shoulders, went, "Oh well, never mind. I'm still picking up my wages at the end of the month."
That's the thing. I'll tell you one thing. Just digressing slightly. I was not scared of Chelsea at all yesterday. They were not.
I wasn't
at all. So,
I can see us doing that. We will touch on that at the end, but I can see us rolling them over. I'll start with you, Ellie. Then I go to you, Leo, and then you, Philip, last, if that's okay. Sorry.
Yes.
Why do we tend to start slow in the first half, Ellie? It's not the first time. Last season, we were slow out the blocks many a time at home, even away. Why do we seem to start slow in the first half of matches? And can that be rectified?
Yeah, it can be rectified, obviously, because Conte will be talking to them. You don't always have to come out of the blocks firing. As long as you're sturdy and solid at the back, and you keep it clean sheet at the back, and then try your best to get control of the football. But it's all to do with aggression. I don't think they come out with enough aggression in the first halves, and they don't press hard enough. It's almost like they're doing the Dele Alli, just strolling around the pitch. They think it's going to happen because they're better than the other team. But you can't do that in football. You've got to be on it from the first whistle to the last. You've got to be on it. And I just feel they get complacent. They think we're going to beat this team, even if they score against us. We've got enough in our team. But sometimes we've been caught short and we've lost the game.
Yeah.
Like the Wolves game, for example. I don't want to bring it up. And the Burnley game.
See, you're getting me twitching again, Ellie.
The Man United game. There's certain games. If we actually... The only game that I can think of that we really came out of the starting blocks really well was the Liverpool game at home. Yeah. We were fabulous in that first half. Yeah, that's the only one where I could put my hat on it and say we were on it from start to finish. We've got to get that right, because then we will blow teams away. Because we got the best striker in the world up front, and next to him we got Sonny, and then on the other side we got Kulu, who's got the sweetest left foot in football.
And don't forget Richarlison as well to come back.
Yeah, we've got to see Richarlison as well. We've got all that to come. But like I said, we have to be on it, because if we go 2 or 3-0 down because we've been sleeping, which it looks like we do, we will come on the pitch sleeping. And we've also got to move the ball a lot quicker as well, because we're too deliberate. In the first half, we're just too slow. And then in the second half, we put the aggression in, put the pressing in. That's how it goes, but we've got to be on it.
I mean, Leo, you've seen this. We've been slow starters. Yesterday, again, was another fact we were slow to start. Do you put that yesterday down to pre-season being short? And do you think we will get better as the season goes on when the players get more fitness and more games in them?
Yeah, I think the first half, it might have been a little slow, but I think, it's not how you start it, it's how you finish it. And, even when we were down 2-1, I think at halftime, I was nervous still. I mean, being a Spurs fan, you don't know what's going to happen with that defense of ours. So, but our preseason, we really pushed our guys hard. And I was a little bit, I didn't necessarily agree with Conte when all of our guys were like throwing up and passing out and stuff. And I'm starting to change my mind, because I think it actually is going to help us in the long run. Like I said, at the end of the Southampton game, we were still going strong, and they were, they were going a little slow. So, yeah, no, I think that preseason really is going to help us. And what Conte really wanted to do was push them to the limit for this next season. So
Yeah, that's a great answer there, Leah. Mark. I mean, Conte, we had the pre-season, you had the players running the length of the pitch for 42 times, which I think was great to see. Do you think we're going to have to come out of the blocks quicker when we play the bigger sides, and not to be so slow with the games like against Chelsea and Liverpool and Man City?
Definitely. I mean, we went 1-0 down yesterday, and you could see even like the first 10 minutes of that game, it was slow. There was no one-touch football. I mean, that's how we get through teams. A few one-touches, down the side, flick it over, and someone's on the end of it. You know? And it just takes us a while to click into gear. I can't really put my finger on why that is. But, you know, I mean, I'd take 4-1 every week.
And Harry Kane usually has a slow August. That's normally what he does.
Philip, we've seen between you, me, and Ellie and Mark a lot of football, a lot of Tottenham games. God knows how many games we've seen between
Thousands.
Probably over 1,000 games. Tottenham have always had this attitude of playing one bad half and one good half. We've never really been consistent, have we, of putting a whole game together? Maybe in the odd time weren't like against Arsenal or against Liverpool. What does Conte have to do to make us come out of the blocks flying every game in the first half?
Threaten them with a team talk at half time.
Fair enough.
If you don't, you know what to expect after 45 minutes if you don't do what I want you to do. I don't know. Like Mark said, it's a very difficult one to put an angle on. I mean, I was at the Brighton match last season, and
oh god,
the first half, we took about 10 passes to get the ball across the halfway line.
No.
You know, and I mean, the Brighton players could have gone off and had a cup of tea. They could have gone and had a chat with the manager. Across the halfway line. And that's just it. So that has got to go. And this is why I think Longley is going to be crucial to us. Longley's distribution is very, very good. He can pick a pass. So can Romero. So what we need to do is get that ball across the halfway as quick as humanly possible. And that gives the midfield boys and the forwards get into what they're supposed to do, put the other team under pressure. Like tapping the ball around in their own half is a joke because it doesn't get anywhere. By the time we get so frustrated, we launch the ball up, hit and hope, and the other team get the ball back, and the whole process starts to start again. So I don't really know what the answer is, but I'm hoping that Conte has it somewhere in his locker.
Do you think, Philip, that there's now a link? Now we've got a link from defence, midfield, and the front three. That we've now got a quick way of getting the ball up there, or do you feel it's got to take?
We've worked on it.
I mean, we have to work on it, and we have to get it done because, I mean, can you imagine taking 10 passes to go across the halfway line against the likes of Man City or Liverpool?
No.
Chelsea, even Arsenal. Okay, you might get away with it against the teams, but even then, like I would have classed Brighton as a much lesser team than us. But Basuma absolutely lost that game and destroyed us. And I'd say that's one of the main reasons he's now wearing a Spurs shirt was because of that game.
Yeah. I mean, guys, I'll put this to all of you, and whoever wants to go first can go first, and then I'll work up from there. Adrian's saying to me, it's about working on various kickoff drills to get us on the front foot. Philip, from GAA over here, there's the short passes or the long passes in the GAA and the football, and how quickly they can go from one side of the pitch to the other. Do you think that we're going to have to?
Sorry, go on there. Sorry.
Do you think we're going to have to work on our kick-out drills? And it starts from Hugo.
Yeah, but you know what I think? Now, I don't know. Back in the day, a kickoff, you're kicking off at the start of a match, right? You had to hit the ball forward. You weren't allowed to play it backwards.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably half the problem. From the kickoff, the ball goes in the opposite direction which you want it to go in. So I think the better off we'd have two boys in the centre circle. Harry Kane tips it to Son. And Kulusevski is doing that 100-mile dash up the wing, bomb it down to him. It'll never happen, but I think this going backwards is I don't like it.
Well, the goalkeepers used to be able to grab it when you kicked it back to the goalkeepers.
Yeah,
So
they used to hold it.
one of the things
Not
that they
anymore. Yeah.
Guys, do you remember that goal Spurs Glenn Hoddle scored? I think it was against Man United. The keeper kicked it out.
Yeah.
I think Jerry Armstrong headed it.
Yeah.
Flicked it on.
Two headers in the volley.
It was Forest. It was Forest.
Was it against Forest? Was it?
He did one against Man United and he did one against Forest.
Yeah.
He did the reverse.
Two similar goals.
The one against Forest that never even touched the ground. There was two head-ons and Hoddle volleyed it straight in top corner.
Yeah.
And in fact, it even hit the back stanchion. I think most people didn't even know it got into the net. It was that quick.
A great goal.
I love listening to your channel because I learned so much from you guys.
Yeah, you got to watch Glenn Hoddle goals.
Do you know what,
Absolutely
Parker?
stunning.
I learned so much of Philip and Ellie and Mark. I mean, I've been a fan for over 40 years, but I learned so much after these guys. These guys are great. I can listen to Philip all night. Philip knows that. I could sit in a pub with him and just listen to him because the stories he could tell are out of this world. So
he's a godfather.
He is the godfather. Big up Aussie Spurs TV.
Spurs should employ Philip as a spokesman. You know, like tell people all the stories about Spurs in the Spurs shop rather than the players.
There was something I watched the other night on YouTube. I know we've gone off. We'll get back to the game. But it was something watching the 100 years history, and it was just watching all the old players and the way we used to play. It was quick, it was fast.
Push and run team.
Yeah.
That's the one I'd love to emulate.
Yeah.
Get the ball, pass it, run, pass it, move, pass it, move.
Yes.
You know, it's the best way of beating the press. If the doesn't know where you are, you're running down the back of them. You know,
Brighton did a bit of that against Man United today. They've tore them apart in the 2 goals they scored. They were marvelous.
Yeah, they were very good. They were very good. I watched most of that game.
Yeah.
I'm now going to talk about my new favourite player because I'm actually beginning to like him now. I have to say, last season I will hold my hands up.
You wanted to kill him.
I did. I called him the only Brazilian to leave Brazil that couldn't play football.
Yeah.
But to be fair,
he tried a bicycle kick yesterday, didn't he?
I know. I did see that, and I thought, is that Emerson?
He hasn't had a coach like Conte. That's why.
And then we're like, he's South American.
Yeah,
I would hold my hands up and say, fair play, you have improved. And I think he will improve as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Philip, I'll start with you on this. Emerson's had a really good game. Yes, then he did. He got the nod in front of Doherty. Well, we know Doherty's still coming back from his injury. And Spence isn't there yet. That was a spot. Do you feel Conte's coaching is helping his game improved? Or how did you think he done yesterday for the
I actually had him. I was in a minority, but I actually had him as man of the match. Like I know Kulichevsky was superb, but I mean, Emerson was. It was like watching Kyle Walker in the good old days, bombarding down the wing there. And I mean, you saw the breakout he made for the goal, the third goal. The 3 boys breaking the pitch. I mean, it was cavalier football. It was the way football should be played. And I think he's gone from I believe somebody said yesterday his father is his agent.
Yeah.
And I think his father sat down during the summer and said, listen, whatever his first name is, Emerson or Royal or whatever, and he says, you have got to get your act together, son, or you're going to be on the transfer. You're going to be leaving that club. And he is fair dues to him. He's come back and he's really, really knuckled down and got into it. And I'm sure Conte has got to do with that. And the training boys. But I mean, he's not the most skillful player, but everything he's doing this season is an improvement on what he was doing last season.
Yeah.
And that's all we want is players to be better now than they were before. And that's what's happening with him especially. And he would have gained so much confidence from yesterday, from his 2 assists. Basically a class own goal as an assist as well. He will be really, really, really buzzing. And it's up to Spence and Doherty to get him out of the team. And at the moment, I can't see them doing it.
No,
I really can't.
I can't. So true, Philip. So true. I mean, Parker, I think you've got to pop off soon. I'll let you answer this question before you pop up, and then plug your channel. So, Emerson, fan or not a fan?
yeah, I mean, like we all said, I mean, he kind of changed this over the summer, didn't he? So, yeah, I mean, when Doherty is fit, he's not going to start for me. But if he can come off the bench and do what he did against Southampton, then we don't really need another right wing back, do we? So, and we got Spence back there too. So, yeah, no, I'm becoming a fan of him slowly. So we'll see if he can stay consistent.
Yeah.
So yeah. But other
That's
than
the
that,
big question.
Always a mistake in, and that's the only worry I'd have. That he doesn't go back to making mistakes again.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that, Philip. Parker, do you want to plug your channel? And where people can find you in the
Absolutely. So I'm part of Mile High Hotspur. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, subscribe on YouTube. The other half is Leo. He had to hop off a little earlier. But yeah, I'm just so delighted to be part of your guys' channel and to be on. So, and listening to you guys is just great. So we're delighted to be part of it.
You're coming to the University of Spurs, Parker.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm learning so much. So thanks, guys. I really do appreciate being on your show.
No,
that's great to have you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, great to have you, Parker.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry
Brilliant.
for calling you Lee. I do apologize.
That is quite all right.
It's all
No
right.
worries.
Listen, we'll
guys.
see you soon, man. And thank you very much for coming on.
All right. I'll see you
Thanks,
guys after
Parker.
Chelsea.
Okay,
All
good
the
night.
best.
Yes.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Right, Mark. Emerson. Do you think he can be a success this season?
Well, let's hope so. He can't be no worse than last year, surely.
No.
I mean, he's all right. He played well yesterday, but let's not get too much in front of ourselves.
Yeah.
He's got to do it every week now.
He was good enough in the friendlies as well. He kind of kept it going a bit.
Yeah, he's always been a good defender, but he just can't cross the road, let alone the football.
Yeah.
I mean, did he have one assist last year or none?
He doubled it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, he couldn't cross the road.
Yeah.
So, if he can start providing assists, that'll be something, because that's what a Conte team, that's what he demands out of his wing backs.
Yeah.
That they get down the side and stick it in the box.
But certainly, if confidence is a thing, he will be buzzing after yesterday.
Yeah.
He will. Ellie, your niece says Emerson was great yesterday. I had him just behind Kulu yesterday.
Yeah.
And I actually do agree with Philip. I think he was near man of the match. He was one of the players that should have been in contention for that yesterday. Behind Kulu yesterday for man of the match. He will get even better the more he's under Conte. Can you see this man really exploding this season, Emerson, and really hitting the high spots?
What I want to do is go on the air of caution, because, like Philip said on our last stream, they've all got a clean slate. Yeah. So day one, 10 out of 10 for Emerson. I'll give him 10 out of 10 for his commitment, his energy. His passing was pretty on point, and he got into the box. He helped the attack so much, and then he tracked back. So in my book, he's got a clean slate, as like Philip said. So we're going to have tougher tests ahead for him.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got to err on caution, because Southampton, however good a club they are, they're not a Chelsea, they're not a Man City, they're not a Liverpool, right? The proof is in the pudding. When we play these bigger teams, if he plays outstanding like he's done, I'll take my hat off and say, he's arrived at our club. But until then, I'm still erring on the side of caution, because I know he has got a mistake in him, but hopefully Conte can get those down to the minimum, because we've got the other side as well, and we've got Dyer in midfield, in the middle, sorry. But Romero will help him as well.
Yeah.
Romero will help him. Because, like I said, he's like a submarine, isn't he? He just sniffs out danger, just like that.
Did you see the tackle yesterday?
I was just about to say that to you, Philip. That tackle.
Tackle of the season. And he didn't even get booked.
Oh, no.
He's got so many tackles that he should have just these tackles on his highlight. on his highlight reel.
It was like the player did not know what hit him. It was looking around, what the hell just hit me?
There was 2 words flashed in front of my mind when I saw that tackle. Dave Mackay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Dave Mackay
all day long, you know. Did you see whenever Dyer scored the goal, Romero's behind punching him in the kidneys?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Roy Keane as well.
Yeah.
Because Roy Keane was so aggressive like Romero, and he'd put his foot in, and he does it in a way that he doesn't tend to get booked that often. So
I don't know what to feed him on. They must give it red meat, raw meat, or something in his diet.
They must do.
I just think they have
medium rare.
They have him in a padded room with the opposition team on the wall, and he's been told, right, get yourself psyched up. He must be punching every wall and headbutting it. He's ready to get at them.
He's absolutely brilliant. You know, it really is.
I know.
I love this quote. It's actually for you, Philip, and Eddie as well, Mark. But I see what you can answer this one, Philip. Bill Nicholson said other managers commented that playing Spurs was like chasing sparrows.
Well, chasing shadows as well.
Yeah, I'll get that point.
Sorry, I do apologise.
Like the first teams of the early 60s. I mean, the double winning team. You know, I don't think people realise. Okay, I know there's been a lot of doubles won in recent years, and it's become kind of been diluted as an actual achievement. But when we won that double, playing on heavy pitches with a ball that was not waterproof, that got wetter the heavier as the game went on, hobnail boots as boots, full back with a kick back to the halfway line rather than I get away with it. And a goal could be barged into the goal and the goal would stand. It was a totally different regime in those days and so much harder.
And 12 players for the whole season.
You weren't even allowed substitutes in 1960.
No.
Was it 1967?
I'm telling you.
I think our cup final in 1967 was the first time a substitute was allowed in the cup.
Yeah. And all you guys must have played with that bloody heavy leather football with the stitches, the seams. And you used to get it in the seams, hit your head, and it was like you'd have a headache for a week.
Sadly,
it's double now
terrible
compared to what it was then. Really was.
And
if you look at the likes of Jimmy Greaves playing now, Erling Haaland or Harry Kane would be only trotting after him. Yeah. Jimmy Greaves would be the greatest striker ever if he was playing in the present regime now.
Definitely.
He'd be unstoppable. Absolutely
unstoppable.
I like this one from Carl Simpson. He said, you know what, Emerson may not be the most amazing player, but you really cannot help but like him.
Yeah.
That's so true.
He's infectious, isn't he?
Yeah, it's so true. I'm bringing up the team here just quickly, Philip and Mark and Ellie. I just want to get your play ratings of the whole team yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know who wants to go first or who wants to.
Ladies first, ladies first.
Go on, Ellie.
Okay.
Go on. So
I'm a lady. You behave yourself, boys.
We said nothing, Ellie. We're just sitting up here. Just
I know. Your right smile. Your right smiles give it away.
Who else was it? Chris Hutton. Who else, Philip?
Mark
Pogo, that was it.
Yes. Oh dear.
Sorry,
I'll
Ellie.
never live that down. I'll never live it down. That's all right. We're all part of the same team.
Well, you are a Spurs lady legend, so
I am. I am.
Right.
Yeah. So you want my player ratings for all of the team?
Yeah, just for the start. Yeah, for the whole teams, and I will bring up the substitutes as well. Who come on for who when?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I'll start off with Lloris, obviously, because he's our goalie. I'll give him a 7 because he didn't have much to do. He picked the ball out of the net, and then he done that fantastic save. And his distribution was quite good compared to what he normally does.
Yeah.
He was on point. Romero, I'll give him an 8. Just for that tackle, I'll give him an 8. Dyer, I also give an 8. And that's unusual for me because I don't really like Eric
He
Dyer
was good.
that much.
He was good yesterday.
I'm
He
sorry,
was good.
everybody who likes Eric Dyer, but he was very good yesterday. You got to take your hat off to him. Davis, I'll give a 7. Royal, I'll give a 9. 100% because he was committed from the first whistle to the last. Bentancur, I'll give a 6. He was a bit off. He wasn't quite with it. Højbjerg the same. Give him a 6.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, because he
I was
wasn't
expecting
up to
11.
my
I was
standards.
expecting
Can
11.
you say that again, Ellie?
I'm going
Can
to
you say that
message him
again?
later. I
At
thought I'd leave it.
9:26
I
on
thought I'd
Sunday
leave him for a
before.
day. I'll leave him for a day and then I'll message him later.
I'll clip that, Philip. Don't worry, I'm going to clip that one.
Yeah,
9:26
because
on
he
Sunday
wasn't.
the 8th or 7th.
I don't think he was at fault for the goal like a lot of people were saying because
No.
you can only jump as high as you can jump. The ball wasn't defended very well and it came over his head and he tried to jump, but he's not an athlete like that to jump high. He's not a Lucas Moura who can jump 2 or 3 foot over 2 or 3 meters over his standing height. But those two were off a little bit off. Sessegnon, I'll give an 8.
Yeah.
Kulusevski, I'll give a 10. He was superb.
Yeah.
What a great player. And the shot that he scored, he made it look so easy. Because it's not that easy to bend the ball like that. And into what he does, he aims for, like Harry Kane does, to the side netting. So the goalie has no chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kane, I'll give a 7 because he did try the lad.
Yeah.
He was just a bit off, wasn't he? He wasn't his normal self. And I'll give Son the same, a 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carl Simpson just says, have I turned up in the Twilight Zone? Oh, worked only 6 out of 10.
I know, because I have to be fair, right?
Yeah.
I'm a big Højbjerg supporter and he wasn't up to my standard, what I expect of him. And he's got a lot of fans. He has got a lot of fans, which they keep on messaging me every day on Instagram. I didn't realise he was so popular because all I hear in our community is quite negative against him. You know, not everybody, but a lot of people are. Yeah, so, yeah, I have to be truthful. Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go next, Mark or Philip?
Mark, you Meister.
Well, yeah. Basically, I sort of agree with Ellie. Hugo did what he had to do. He didn't really have much chance with the goal. Romero, he was his normal brutish self, just diving in everywhere. I'm amazed he never got booked. Dyer, he did what he had to do. Davis, I was surprised when I kept seeing him in the other penalty box. I thought, well, what are you doing up here? You know, I mean, he was up there all the time.
He was.
Royal was good, definitely. You know, that's probably the best I've seen him play for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Bentancur and Højbjerg, it's like Ellie said, they had a bit of an off day, but they never really had much to do because we had most of the ball. So, I mean, it's their job to stop the attacks, you know, like that shield in front of the defence, but they never really had a lot to do. Sessegnon played well, I thought. You know, Kulusevski was my man of the match, and Kane and Son, they were just there, you know. So, you know, I mean, Kane never looked brilliant. He was furious with Son when Son blasted it over the bar and should have passed to him. You weren't very happy with him then, but Son had gone past about 2 or 3 of their people, like in and around the penalty box, and Harry Kane was about 2 yards from him.
Yeah.
Some wants another golden boot. That's what he's looking for.
I said, yeah.
And they're
they said that on the commentary. They said
they're one
that
behind Salah as well, so they better shape up.
Yeah.
Right, Philip. Thanks, Mark. Philip, what's your play ratings for the team?
Pretty much the same. Lloris 7, Romero 8, Dyer 8, Davies 7, Royal 8, Bentancur and Højbjerg. I give them a 7. I think they might have been
more generous than me, Philip.
8, Kulusevski 12. Kane and Son, I give them 6 each, and I think it's. I mean, I know we all love to see Kane and Son scoring, but I'm looking at that match yesterday. We won it comfortably 4-1 with other players getting on the score sheet, and that's what we want to see.
Yeah,
we do.
we need
And
to
Kane
see
Can't
that.
just rely on Kane and
will
Son.
score buckets of goals this season, but we need.
Yeah.
This is a great start, and out of other players, especially Dyer hasn't scored in 3 years. Sessegnon had never scored before, and that's the first home goal for Kulichevsky. Kane and Son will have their day. They've had loads of days in the past. They'll have them in the future. So for us to win a match like that, with them not really being only bit part players, really, they weren't the main men yesterday, which is not too often you can say that about a Spurs match. So that is actually a brilliant scenario for the future. Come Chelsea on Saturday, they'll be up to make amends for yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I say to Chelsea, you're no great shakes. Watch out, Spurs are coming for you.
Yeah.
And myself, I'd give Lloris a 7, Romero an 8. An 8 for that tackle just alone. I mean, I mean that for me is the tackle of the season. Philip's right. It's like a Dave Mackay type tackle or Graham Roberts type tackle. Just in there,
put his foot in.
Dyer for me, another 8. I thought he was really good yesterday. Davis a 7. Royal, I give him a 9. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Bentancur and Holberg, I agree with Philip, a 7 each. Ellie, I'm really disappointed.
Thank you, chaps.
I don't know.
I think he'll be right.
I don't know what you think. Yeah, he will be. Because
I should be head
Ellie,
of his fan club. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Segi again, 8. Kuvalevsky. I mean, what can you say? There's no number to say how well that man played yesterday. And then Kane and Son, I'll give them both 8. Look, it's early in the season. They will come good.
Well,
Philip gave him a 12, so I agree with that.
And you know what? Something on Kuvalevsky, I saw this yesterday, and it says Kuvalevsky has assisted 9 goals in Premier League since making his debut in February earlier this year. The most of any player won across Europe's Big 5 league. His figure is only bettered by Dombele, 11.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a gem on our hands. We really do.
Yeah.
Just very quickly, we'll get through this and then we'll talk about the Chelsea game. If everyone's okay for another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah. Who was your man in the match and why, Philip?
Well, I mean, I as I said, my initial man of the match would have been Emerson Royal for the amount of crossing and running up and down and assists. But I think you have to sort of genuflect to Kulichevsky for what he did. I mean, the guy. I mean, they're all talking about this Haaland coming into the league and is going to do this and going to do that. I mean, I reckon Kulichevsky is going to have as big an impact on the Premier League than Haaland has. Haaland is going to score lots of goals, but Kulichevsky is as well. And they're going to be. I think he's going to be one of the most underrated signings. I mean, he's come in totally off the. He was unrated, unwanted, average player, a Juventus reject. But I tell you, if they have any more rejects, can they send them over to us because, just a class act. And he seems to be such a nice young lad as well. Doesn't he gets the reaction when he scored.
I like his.
Like his style,
Yeah. He's he puts his chest out, doesn't he? And he thumps the ground. I love that.
Yeah. Any left backs coming to face him soon, we'll be looking forward to it.
No.
Dave said something yesterday about we need to stop calling these player rejects and all these players coming in.
Well, there's only one person that called him a reject.
Yeah.
And I understand he's still at it.
Yeah.
Can I just make it plainly here? All of us here, and I think I'm in agreement by all of us, we are so lucky to have the likes of Romero and Decky at our club. They are brilliant signings.
Fabulous.
They have made us 10 times better. And if we can get players like that, and other people call them rejects, and we get players like that, let them all come in. It's the same as Spence as well.
Yeah.
He's going to be a great player for us. The player that we've bought from, who we're going to buy from Udinese, another young talent that is going to be brilliant in the future. I'd rather get them in now instead of paying triple the money in 4 or 5 years' time.
Yeah.
And
True.
we need to, as Philip said last week, we need to respect the players and the team because they're going there every week playing for us. So let's respect them and let's give them support. No more of this reject. I'm sick of hearing it, and I'm just fed up to the back teeth of it.
No,
Yeah.
please, everybody starts from scratch.
Yeah. Mark, man of the match?
Oh, Kulusevski, without a shadow of a doubt.
Mhm.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Every time he got the ball, he looked dangerous. Every time he didn't give the ball away, not that I can remember. And you know, and he was just on fire. Everything the man does just seems to come off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So definitely man of the match. Definitely.
And Ellie, who's your man of the
Yeah.
match?
Definitely Kulusevski, because the sign of a great player is not what only he does on the ball, it's what he does off the ball. He's such an intelligent player. His movement is fabulous. He knows how to move into pockets of space to pick up the ball. And he's so intelligent to see the pass. He even plans it before. He's thinking of what he's going to do. And all the great players have got it. And this boy, he's already a great player, but he's going to be a superstar. And I just hope we can hold on to him, because I'll be crying. If we sold him, I'll be crying, because this boy, he's the real deal. He's got it all. And he knows how to hold the ball and protect it so that he doesn't lose it. I don't think I've ever seen him lose the ball. And I can't recall him losing the ball. But what I like about him as well is that he tracks back and helps the team when we haven't got the ball. I love that about a player. That's why I love Højbjerg so much, because he'll track back, he'll get his arse back, and he'll tell other players to do their jobs as well. Same with Kulu. He'll help out Emerson, because he knows Emerson, he sometimes comes out of position, so he covers him, and so does Romero. So these three on that side are vital to our success. Not just Kane and Sonny this year.
For myself, I'm actually going against all of you. I'm actually going to pick Royal for man of the match.
Well, you're
I think
entitled
it's the
to.
first time ever I've actually picked him as man of the match. I think he played brilliantly yesterday.
It was a toss-up for me that he was man of the match as well, so I quite agree with you.
Actually, I picked him as my man of the match against Arsenal and Liverpool. I love the way he played against Liverpool. He had a free rein in that game. He was all over the shop. He was everywhere.
We really did. Philip, Chelsea, do you think, I'll just ask you quickly, because I know you've got to pop off soon. Do you feel Conte will be the same 11 for the Chelsea game? And what do you think the score will? We will do a pre-match for that, but what's your score for that?
I think I don't think he's going to tinker with the team too much. You don't change a winning team, so I think it'll be pretty much, providing there's no injuries. We'll know about. I think we'll keep the same team. But I'm just looking though. I looked at our bench yesterday, and the Spurs bench was frightening. Really, when you think about it, look at the strength of that bench. Manchester City today didn't have a stronger bench.
Yeah,
there's 3 or 4 lads on that bench I've never heard of before. Look at our bench. Look at it there. Look at them.
Perisic, pretty good bench.
Moura, Lenglet, Sanchez, Bissouma. Okay, maybe we'll leave Sanchez be the weak link there, but I mean that is a stronger bench any team will put out all season, and that's going to be needed next week against Chelsea, because I think it's a very tight game, and I mean I can see us conceding. I don't think we're going to get out of there with a clean sheet, but I think from what I saw of Chelsea yesterday, their match against Everton was a bit like a practice match. There was no spark about them at all, and if we get at them early doors next Saturday, I think we'll win 2-1.
Yeah. What do you think of us keeping Hill on? We haven't actually moved him on yet.
I'd like to keep him. I think Brian Hill has got. I think he's got a trick up his sleeve.
He gets a lot of rap as well, doesn't he, from our fans?
I'd keep him. I really would.
Do you think Philip that Hill is? Do you think he'll play? Do you think he'll end up in the cam role eventually? And do you think that's where he'll end up?
And that is mentioned quite a lot. And I think he's got the vision to be in that role.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think they might try him out in the Carabao Cup in that role or something. I don't think they'll try it in the league match. But try him out. Say we get thrown against Accrington Stanley in the Carabao Cup. Try him out in that sort of match and see how he gets on. Because he did very well on loan in Spain last season. So no reason why he can't continue.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Philip, I know you have to pop off. I want to thank you again.
It's unforeseen, but something's just come in here, so I have to go.
I want to thank you again for coming on, for everything you do. I love you. I love you being a part of this channel. I actually can listen to you all night, Philip. You're such a lovely man.
Same
and a proper gentleman.
It's a pleasure. I really enjoy being on these programs. Really do. I mean, the crack is great, and fair dues to you for doing it. And bring on the next one.
Yeah, we'll be back during the week. I know you're not free Tuesday because you'll be doing your drumming, the Ringo Star.
Doing a Ringo Star impersonation.
How did you get on last Tuesday? Did you do all right? Did you get a good crowd?
Yeah, it was a massive crowd. Absolutely massive crowd. And I got some of it on video as well. I might put it up somewhere when I get a chance to look at it. But looking at my videoing, you can't see me. You can only hear me.
I will definitely have to get down there one night.
It's a great night. It's a brilliant night. It really is. So I'm going. I'm actually doing this. Then I'm taking a couple of weeks off because it's a 2.5 hour drive for me every Tuesday. So it's not that easy to do it.
Oh.
It's a bit of a
Philip will be back this week. Hopefully he'll be back for the Golden Game because we're going to show an old Chelsea game and we're going to do that this week. So hopefully, and he'll be back.
Pick one that we won anyway, will you?
I was just about to say that, Philip.
Well, I was going to pick the one we beat them 3-2 in the FA Cup when Glenn Hoddle scored.
That would be perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
But again, Philip, thank you.
We're going to shoot off. Good night. See you soon.
God bless.
Good night, Philip.
Thanks for everything.
Good night.
Good night. Well, there goes the legend. That is Philip Brady. He really is. Right, guys, we've got a few people. Are you two all right to go for another 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, no problem.
Gil, my opinion on Gil, I think we should keep him. I agree with Philip 100%. I think we need to keep him. I think he's a talent. He really is a talent. As Dave Harris calls him, Gil Messi. And I think Dave is right when he calls him that because he has the potential to really kick on. We've got here, Adrian here says we don't need the money and we should get Gil and Sarr. Forget about Sarr.
Yeah.
Sarr's in our squad this year.
I know.
I'll start with you quickly, Mark. Gil, yes or no?
Yeah, he's another year older now. All right, when we first bought him, he was probably too young. He's too lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
If he can eat a few steaks and bulk up a bit, I don't see why he can't make it in the Premier League.
Yeah.
You know?
You, Ellie?
Yeah, I agree with Mark. Yeah, I agree with Mark. Yeah. He's definitely got a talent. He reminds me a little bit of when Luka Modric first come to our club. That first season, he didn't play particularly brilliantly, but you could see he had something, and then he just took off. Now this player, he's got a lot of stick from our community. You know that he's not good enough. He's rubbish. He's not rubbish. I know a player when I see he's got talent. The boy. Yeah. He has got, and all he needs is a chance. He needs to bulk up, like Mark said. He needs to get Premiership fit in terms of his size, but that will come. That will come. I think he's 22, 23 now. I think maybe 22. So he's still got time to grow, and he has got good vision. I think I can see him in that Luka Modric role, but he needs to strengthen up so that he can hold the ball better.
Yeah,
because that's what it is. He's lightweight and they knock him off the ball, you see, so he loses the ball.
Good evening, Chris. Thank you for joining us. And please like this. Please hit the like. At the moment, we've got, how many likes we've got? We have 33 likes. Please. Let's see, can we get it up to 45 before the end of the show?
Yes.
Let's see, can we get to 45?
Everybody hit the like and subscribe, please.
Button. And we're actually nearly at 560. So let's see, can we get to 560 and 45 before the end of the show? So let's see, can we do that? I'm sure we can. We've got Adrian here, guys. He says, I am more excited about Sarr than Gil. Sarr is a box-to-box attacking midfielder who scores from free kicks and has the confidence to score penalties. Sarr also moves the ball quickly and dribbles. Guys, I don't know who wants to go first.
I'll
Sarr,
take that one. Yeah.
go on then.
What I've seen of Sarr, I do like. He's another slight player. He needs to bulk up a little bit for the Premiership.
Yeah.
But I can see he's got talent, the boy, and he does move the ball quickly. I agree with Adrian. He's very, very technically gifted, and he's got a good shot on him. He can shoot from outside the box and score as well, I've seen. And the boy, he can come on leaps and bounds at Spurs. Just needs his little chance, doesn't he? Like all players.
Yeah.
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 And you, Mark? Do you agree with Adrian what he says?
Yeah, I've not really seen a lot of Sarr, to be honest. But the things I've seen of him, he's impressive. But it's like Ellie said, he sort of reminds me of Gil. Lightweight. Lightweight is going to get knocked off the ball too easily. You know, but he's still young as well. He's even younger than Gil, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is.
He's literally 18 or 19.
I think he's 19, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know.
Do you think Mark he'd become the next Modric? Like we had Modric, like he was a little crafty little.
Yeah.
Do you think Gil could be that next sort of player like him?
No, that's a big ask because
it is a big ask. Yeah,
it is a big ask because Modric was a special player, and even though he's what is he's got to be coming up 40, and he's still doing it now. He's 37 at least, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's going to be 38.
I tried to buy him on FIFA. I was playing FIFA. I tried to bring him back to the club, and it come up. This player has a grudge against you.
Oh no!
even on FIFA, he has a grudge.
Yeah,
but he shouldn't have a grudge against us. We gave him to the best team in European football. They've won the Champions League. Is it 15 times now?
Yeah.
So he should be thanking us that he's won.
Yeah.
Is it 6 titles he's won?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it 5 or 6? I know it's a lot.
I think it's 6 titles, 5 Europe Champions Leagues or something along. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Adrian Stalker says, "Smash the like button if you love Spurs and hate Arsenal." There you go.
Yes, that's the way to do it, Adrian.
Yeah.
Carl Simpson says, "I'm telling you, when Sarr bolts up, he will be the next Vieira." I actually do agree with you on that, Carl. Big up, Carl. And Carl again, laughing. We made Modric. I'll tell you one thing, Ellie. Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we gave him his chance.
Yeah, we made Modric. Yeah, we made him stay another year when he wanted to go.
Imagine if we kept all those players, guys. We had Modric, Berbatov, Ginola, Van der Vaart, all these players, Gaza. If they were all together, no one would touch us.
Berbatov for me was a luxury player.
He's a fantastic player, though. I know what you mean by luxury player.
Him and Robbie Keane together were a lethal duo. They really were, the pair of them.
I loved watching them.
We did. Just go quickly on the rest of the Premier League. We'll have a little bit quick review of all the matches. Ellie, which result over the weekend impressed you the most?
Apart from our one, you mean?
Yeah, apart from
Brighton's.
Yeah.
Brighton, because it wasn't just the victory, it's the way they won.
Yeah.
And they pressed so good.
They looked impressive today, Brighton.
They looked impressive.
Yeah.
Movement Fulham off the ball, everything.
Yeah, Fulham did well yesterday against Liverpool, got a point.
Well, they should have won that, really.
Bournemouth beat Aston Villa 2-0.
Yeah.
There were so many good results.
Newcastle beating Forest. But for me, I think the most team I was impressed with was Fulham. I thought they really deserved to win that, and they were so unlucky.
They did.
Yeah.
And for Klopp to come over and said that the grass was too dry to play football, I just, oh, Jesus.
I've only seen the highlights of that, so I'm going to watch the match in full so I can give a solid opinion on it.
Yeah, I watched the game last. I actually recorded it. They had the full match on Sky, and I've actually watched the Spurs game twice. And I'm so impressed with. I was so impressed with yesterday.
Yeah,
really was. And then basically, this one. Do you think? Oh, we asked that question. Oh yeah, here we go.
All right.
What was all right? I'll start with you, Ellie. What were you most impressed with our performance yesterday?
The one thing I was impressed with was our aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I loved our aggression because you can press, you can do all the skill in the world, but you need aggression in football as well, and the right type of aggression at the right times. Yeah, and we were so on it in terms of winning that ball back, but with the right amount of pressing and the right amount of aggression. But the aggression was from every single player, and we don't normally see that. We see it from Romero. We sometimes see it from Højbjerg. Occasionally you'll see it from Bentancur, you know, because they've got a bit of shithousery in them as well. But I was so impressed with that. And our killer instinct to get in there and win that ball back. Yeah. Very impressive.
And you, Mark?
For me, I agree with what Ellie says, obviously, but the team spirit as well. Like when someone done something, they were always like, you know, like, well done, mate, give them a pat on the back. Just the team spirit that seems to be there. You know, they wouldn't,
Shone
you know,
through.
If someone sort of messed something up, that, you know, if someone misplaced a pass or something, you'd see one of them go over to him and like just say, you know,
don't worry about it, mate. Get the next one right.
Yeah.
Or you'll be dropped.
Yeah. Well, that was Conte shouting that one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even Roy Keane was impressed with us. I'm trying to find his quotes from today because he's
a big Spurs fan as well, apparently. Is that correct?
I don't know if it's true or not. But if Roy Keane said to me, if Roy Keane said to me he was a Spurs fan, I wouldn't argue with him.
Nor would I.
To be fair,
no.
Apparently,
so he kicked you.
I might get him a Spurs shirt.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find his quote here. I mean, he said it today. He says, Kane said today on Sky Sports, you just know yesterday they would come back. Strength and depth, outstanding manager. There's a momentum at the club. Obviously, a lot of belief and confidence. I think Spurs are set up for a brilliant season. And you have to agree with them, don't you, Ellie?
Yeah. Yeah, because even Jamie Carragher said it. He said he was talking about the Arsenal game and they were interviewing him and they were talking about who he feels is a threat to Man City.
Yeah.
And I was shocked when he said Spurs because he's not normally on our side, is he? He's always liked Poch's team when Poch reassembled it. And then he said we went to pot a bit after that, which we did really. But he's never really given us much encouragement. But I was quietly thinking, well done, Jamie, at last. And then I heard somebody say that he said that Conte would be gone. I think it was Philip actually, that Conte would be gone by the end of next season. You know, by the end of this season. Sorry. I mean, you give it with one hand and take it from the other with Carragher.
Yeah.
Typical Scouser, isn't he?
Yeah.
But Liverpool fans don't normally give us much credit, do they? So, and he is a big actually, he supported Everton, I heard.
Yeah, he's an Everton fan.
Yeah, he's an Everton fan. Yeah. So I was impressed with what Carragher said. Yeah.
And here we've got a few quotes, guys, from the press conference from Conte after the match.
Oh, yeah.
The first question was that the perfect way to start? And he said it was a really good start for us. It was really important to have this reaction after 15, 20 minutes when we were 1-0 down. Despite starting well, we with a great personality and good possession to create many situations to score. But then to stay 1-0 down was really important to see the reaction of our team. Ellie, do you think we're going to see a whole new Spurs team? Spurs in the past have been go 1-0 down. Mourinho said, my team has to go 1-0 down to get a reaction out of them. Do you think that's the case of, right, 1-0 down, it doesn't bother us, we're going to score more goals than you?
I think what we're going to see is a team in the image of Conte, all his ethics, Like I said, 100%. Give 100%. Don't come off that pitch unless you're sweated your every last ounce of sweat, and be committed and play in my style. And those wing backs you saw, they're what Conte's all about, that wing back play. And he knows that he hasn't got the best wing backs that he wanted, but he's going to work damn hard with them to get them into shape and to pull them the way he wants them to play for him. And you can see that even from the first game and pre-season, you can see it. So I'm very confident that we're going to have a lot better season than last season. I'm about 95% sure that we're going to win the trophy. The 5% that I don't, the doubt, I'm going to put behind me. But I know with players like Romero and Højbjerg and Bentancur and Kulu, we don't have to rely on Kane and Sonny all the time for the goals. And then we've got Perisic to come in. We've got Longley to come in. It's exciting times at Spurs,
And Mark, it was asked for him, you named none of our new signings in the starting lineup. Why is this? And he put me, I'm not surprised because I think that I use common sense. Because in this moment, we are starting the new season. The old players reached a big achievement last season to get a place in the Champions League. In the last 10 games, I think we played really well and we had a fantastic result. My message was very clear that I trust a lot in the old players. And in this moment, they are more reliable than the new players because they need to continue to work with us to continue to implement football knowledge. Do you think Mark Conte is very smart to not start with the new players? And do you think that's a good way to get them in, to get them involved more into the squad and the more on the Conte's way, Mark? Do you think he actually did the right thing yesterday?
It was like, was it Philip said it earlier? Like, he started basically the same team we had last year.
Yeah.
And he's all these 6 signings, he's saying, right, that's the man in your shirt that possesses your position. If you want it, you got to train better than him. You got to dislodge him from it.
Yeah.
I mean, if he'd have, say, dropped Højbjerg yesterday and just brought Zuma straight in, Højbjerg, I think, what the hell am I doing here?
You would have had to answer to me, no?
Well, yeah.
Sorry, but I'll be down that training ground, so what?
It's very easy to feel like that. If you've been a starter most of the season and suddenly a new guy comes in and nicks your shirt immediately, then you're going to think, oh, well, I'm done. So starting the old ones, he said to these new ones, no matter what they cost, if you want that shirt, you've got to compete for it.
Yeah. Ellie, he was also asked at the end, he's saying, what would merely a top 4 finish be satisfactory? Now, for myself, it's always, every season, I know some fans think it's not success, other fans think it is success, and there's a big argument on reaching top 4. Could you count that as success? But the club's main priority every season is to qualify for the Champions League. And I think then they will have, like, you qualified Champions League, we want you to get this, win the FA Cup or get to the final, get to a final of the League Cup, get out the group stages to Champions Leagues. It's like different priorities or different levels each manager has to get.
Yeah.
And he was asked this yesterday, and basically his answer was, but to finish in top 4 in England is always an success. If you speak with the owner and he laughs, he's ready to sign every season to finish top 4, especially in England, because it means with the top 6 teams in England, if you finish top 4 last season, then United and Arsenal are missing finish the Champions League. Liverpool, City, Chelsea, maybe if a disaster doesn't happen, they'll stay there. So you fight. Then also the strength of United, but you have to see what Arsenal are doing with Arteta. And I'm swear he had a little chuckle to himself while he was saying that. Because Mr. Lego Head is just he's brilliant, and Arsenal keep him there, and maybe Arsenal might qualify for the Conference League this season. But Arsenal are doing, and I tell you, in these many years to improve the team, it's not easy. But I'm a person who has ambition. I want to transfer the right ambition to my players with no arrogance or presumption. I only know one way to work to continue to improve. I think that is if we continue to do this, we are stronger than last season. Now, for me, this season, it's top 3 and a trophy. I've been deluded, and I've said we're going to do the league and cup double. I still think we're going to do the cup double myself. But for you, what would be success this season? And even if we finish 3rd and say got runners up in the FA Cup or a League Cup, would you still class that as success for this season?
I see finishing higher up in the league as progress, because you're getting closer to the 2 teams that are way ahead of us last season. So I think we finished 20 points behind Man City. So it is progress, and it's a little bit of an achievement. But I come from a time when we were winning trophies. I like winning trophies because it gives me joy to see our players lifting the trophies up in the air. There's nothing better than seeing your captain go up those Wembley steps and picking up the cup, picking up whatever cup it is. League Cup, FA Cup's better, obviously, because it's got more prestige. And it gives the club confidence to move on. Like the great Steve Perriman says on his podcast, get one under your belt and more will follow.
Yeah.
And that is true for every club. I've never seen a club like where they've won a cup and then the next season they don't win hardly anything, or they don't win a trophy. There's hardly any clubs who do that. Success breeds success. Confidence breeds confidence. And winners build winners. And that's what Conte's trying to instill in these boys, because they've not won anything together. And they actually did deserve to win something. The football that we've played has been a lot superior to a lot of other clubs, and we haven't won. Right? So it's our time now. We've got to move on, win a couple of trophies. If we win 1 this year, 2 next year, I'll be happy with that. If we win 2 this year and 2 next year, I'll be very happy. The one I want to win most, though, is the Champions League.
Do you know, for me, at least the FA Cup for me.
I want to win the league. I want to win the league as well.
That's the one.
Right, that is the big creme de la creme, right? Because that's 38 games. You're the best team over the 38 games. But the Champions League, when we lost it, I was so gutted, because I thought we really deserved to win that year.
Yeah.
And I want to get to the final again, but this time we're going to win it.
Yeah.
And if we win any other trophy apart from that, I'll be so happy. Yes.
Mark,
I've said my piece now.
Ellie says a piece. Mark, this is for you. Well, this is for both of you, actually. 3 of us. Worst ways a top 4 finish should be treated as success, because top 4 enables the club to bring in the world's best players. Top should be a minimum requirement. Mark, do you know, there's a lot. We're all optimistic we're going to win silverware. I think we'll win silverware this season. Do you think, though, to build on momentum last season, we need to finish higher in the league this season? Do you know, if we finish 3rd and we, as I said to Ellie, got runners up in the cup competition, would you class that as a successful season?
To me, it'd feel like a disappointment.
Yeah.
Even if we do get 3rd and we come run it, because we get to these finals and we never do it. Just a trophy of any description. All right, third is an improvement, but just a trophy. I don't care if we finish 17th. I don't care if we finish 17th. If we won the FA Cup, that'd do me.
Yeah. So we want to be the bride, not the bridesmaid, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah.
I think we'll all love that. Badder THC, big up. Thank you for joining us. I haven't seen you before in the chat, so if this is your first time, welcome. He says, my hot take is we're going to win the Champions League, finish third in the Premier League, maybe one of the domestic cups, Coys, Tottenham till I die.
Come on, that's what I want as well.
That'll do.
Can I just say that is comment of the night, closely to this one by Carl Simpson. Have we turned up in the Twilight Zone for? I think that's the other comment tonight. Really
I know.
I was going to say, though, 2 cups and third, though, that's about 30 years for us, isn't it?
Can I just say, big up John Fitzpatrick, my Irish brother. I have missed you. Where have you been, sir?
Oh, yes.
Where have you been? Hit that like button. Hit that subscription button. Listen, we're gonna sign off soon. Look, we've had a good win yesterday, guys. It's the start of the season. We've started with a bang, and just a little bit of history for everyone. I did a little bit of searching about all our first day starts, and this is our record on. Now, I had 13 wins. Ellie had a go at me backstage. She ready laid down the law to me. She said, "Dermot, you have to change that, and you're changing it now." I mean, I'm scared too. I mean, Ellie had me terrified. So out of the Premier League's 31 years old. I mean, that makes me feel old. Thinking the 31 years the Premier League's been around, we had 14 first day wins, 7 draws, 10 losses, and as Philip Brady said earlier at the beginning of the show, this is our biggest first day win since 1986.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're in for one hell of a season. We really are.
It's going to be a roller coaster, but I hope the roller coaster's on the top and doesn't come to the bottom. It stays at the top.
It does. Duela said achievement is finishing 4th, success is finishing 1st, and winning the trophy. I think we all agree with that. But I think also with cups, they're a lottery, and I think you have to get the right. Your bread and butter is qualifying for the Champions League. That is the bread and butter.
It's like Sean said. It's like Sean Butler said. I can't quote his stat, but it's something like it is like 5 or 6 teams that have won like over 90% of the domestic. Like your Cities and your Liverpools and your Chelseas and Man United and all that.
That's since the Premiership started. Before that, I looked up in 1962 when we done the double in 61. 62, Ipswich Town finished 1st. Who was 2nd?
Burnley.
Was it us?
Yes, Burnley was 2nd and we were 3rd. Do you see how football can move?
Yeah.
And Huddersfield Town, I read today, and I think it was on telly as well, but I read it today on the internet, that they're the only team that have won 3 back-to-back championships. Yeah.
I look. Can I?
I think there's another 2 who've done it. Sorry, but they were the first.
Yeah. Can I just also quickly add? Look, we all support the same team. At the end of the day, we all want success. We're all dying for a trophy.
We are.
But with the league, I mean, we're going through every season optimistic. It's our year. Every fan's like that from every team.
Of course.
From Tottenham Hotspur down to where I used to live, St Albans City, to Mark's local team, to Ellie's local team, and then even Wexford.
Yeah.
Every year we get ready like we're going to win the hurling championship here in the GAA in hurling in our county. So you start every season excited.
Yeah.
The league is the bread and butter of any club. And I think with the cups we've won more cups than anyone. We were the most FA Cup winners. We were the first.
Up to 1991, we were,
Ellie sent me something earlier, which I will get it on for the next show. The team sheet or the program for the 1901 FA Cup final.
Yeah, I thought I'd send you that.
Against Sheffield United. Look, we will stuff again. These things go in cycles. This is my whole argument. Man United, when Man United went dominant, I mean, they won the odd FA Cup now and again. You know, they weren't all bend all like they were in the 90s. But success off the pitch mellows success on the pitch.
Yeah.
You cannot do one without the other.
Yeah.
And qualifying for the Champions League brings in extra revenue. That means you get more players want to come to your club. It improves your squad. And then when you improve your squad, your manager with Conte, he can play how he wants. Then that improves your team. That means you improve your league.
True.
And that means then you improve your situation in cup games where you've got a better squad to win these games.
Yeah.
So we have to trust the process that Conte's got us on. Him and Paratici. Let's get behind them. Let's trust the Don and the King. Let them do their work. Tottenham will be successful again. And Ellie, you've seen it. I've seen it. Mark's seen it. You've seen it. We've seen them win FA Cups.
Yeah.
We've seen them win League Cups. We went through a dodgy period under Nuno. We all said at that time we will come out again at the light. We're now at the light. Let's get behind the team this season.
Yeah.
Let's get behind the manager, the team. Forget all the troubles. Forget everything. Let's get this team and let's back them 100% because we will be successful.
Yeah.
True. Well said.
And pick up Dave.
Oh, God, David's in the house.
There's no way Dermatron said trust the process.
I know. He's turning into Arteta, David. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, let Arsenal trust their Lego man for his process. They're doing very well. Conference League next season for them. Look, we got a great manager. We've got great players. Let's get behind them and let's win this fucking league. Let's do it. Let's do it the Bill Nick way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure again to have you all. Thank you so much for everyone joining.
Thank you very much, Dermot. Enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, Ellie. I don't know if Mr. Harris wants to pop on for 5 minutes. Have his say.
It'd be a pleasure to have him on.
We'll keep going for 5 minutes. See if Mr. Harris. Does,
let's see if he comes on. Trust the process.
Trust the process. Dave knows what I mean. I mean, we were in a dark tunnel last year, and I went on to Dave's channel, I think, and I did say we will emerge from it. I mean, guys, I'll start with you, Mark. Oh, Mark.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm still here. I'm still here.
Mark's
He's just picking his nose.
Ellie. Dave said, go for another 10 and I will be on. Fine. Okay. I'm sure we can talk about something.
Of course we can do that.
Right. Make up some rubbish.
I like this one. I like this one from Adrian. Look busy. Dave Harris is in the building.
Yeah.
Right, it's time to look professional now, guys. Right, Dave's watching. Let's look professional. Mark, we've got Chelsea next week, and then we've got the runs. Do you think the World Cup's going to cause us any problems when it stops in November?
It's a job to say, isn't it? I mean, you cannot predict who's going to go over there and get nobbled. You know, I mean, depends. I mean, all our players might go and be home after the first couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, I know Maradona don't play for Argentina, but if he still did, England would be out because he'd cheat again.
Unless he comes back from
he
the
has
break,
to get that
Mark.
one in, doesn't he? He has to get that one in.
Mark, look, we can have this argument all long.
We've had this
Maradona
argument.
Did not cheat, Mark. Would
Yes,
you just
he
let
did.
it go?
How
long ago is that game now, Mark?
86.
Yeah,
It
it's a long time. Let it go.
Yeah.
No.
Let it go.
I reckon on Maradona's grave, there's a hand coming out of it.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Oh, God, Jesus.
Yeah.
Mark, you have to let it go. All right.
Don't sniff it.
Yeah.
Don't sniff at him.
This is your counselling for letting.
This
Maradona
is an Irishman
go.
talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Mark's going to throw Terry Henry at me, and I hated it because
No. No.
That was more blatant
I
than
can't
handball
mention
than
his name.
ever.
I can't mention his name.
Cheat.
But Mark, can you be a little bit? He was crafty how he did it. Can you admit that?
Oh, he was very crafty. But
Is that it, Ellie?
He's doing his ball impression.
Yeah. But
all right.
you got, as we had this discussion when we did the show, but you got to remember as well, that was 4 years after the Falklands as well. And so he had a big chip on his shoulder.
My battery's getting a bit low, guys.
Is it? All right, Ellie's doing nothing. Listen, Chelsea next week. What do you think we need to do to get a result there? And do you think we can get a result?
Yeah, 5-0. 5-0.
Mark, what you smoking? 5-0.
Yeah. Why not?
What, against Chelsea?
Yeah. 5-0, Ellie.
Well, West Brom done them 5-2 one day.
Right.
Or was it a couple of seasons ago? West Brom beat them 5-2, didn't they?
Yeah.
Right. I've got a couple of pictures I want to bring up. I found on the internet, and I love your thoughts, and I love the people in the comment to get their thoughts as well. Right. Here's Jose. What's he think he's doing? What do you think he's thinking here? I'll start with you, Mark.
What game's he watching?
Right. Have a look on the TV. Who's on there?
I can't see.
Right. He's got the Irish Hotspur on his telly. Right.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Ah.
So what's he thinking? Do you think? What's he laying back on his chair? What's he gonna do? What's he saying?
I'll get my super chat in. I don't
Ellie,
know.
what do you think Mourinho's thinking? Do you think, right, I need to watch a bit of the Irish Hotspur to get myself motivated?
Yeah, he's thinking
think,
that David, I wish I had him as my second in charge. We would have won the league easily. I wouldn't have got the sack.
had him and Jack Konecki as my stats man. Dave is my assistant manager. There you go.
Statsman and scout, because he's brilliant at scouting new players.
And I found this one the other day as well. This one, Harry Kane is the second to reach 250 goals in 420 appearances. He's only one behind Lionel Messi. I'll start with you, Mark.
That doesn't surprise me.
What a remarkable sort. I mean, he's got Lionel Messi, Harry Kane's in there second.
Yeah.
Alan Shearer's third.
Yeah.
Aguero's fourth. Cristiano Ronaldo is fifth.
Well,
and Mr. Harris,
fourth.
good evening, sir. And Wayne Rooney is sixth. I mean,
yes.
He's above some big names there, only just behind Lionel Messi. I mean, that shows what a quality player he is, isn't he?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Dave,
there's someone.
David.
I'll let
All
Mr.
right.
Harris take over about Harry Kane now.
yeah, I would love to know what what Mourinho's thinking there, Dave. What's he thinking?
He's just thinking, look, winners think alike, so I'll tune into the Irish Hotspur.
I think it's a brilliant picture. It really is.
Great minds think alike, lad.
Yeah, I saw it on the WhatsApp group, and I said I'll have to take a picture, and I'd have to put it on the show because it looked brilliant. I think it was Paddy Harnett that put it on there.
Paddy Higgins, I think.
Paddy Higgins, yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, brilliant show yesterday. Absolutely loved your show. Please, everyone, get over to the Irish Hotspur. Him and Jack are the best ones in town. How was your thought of the performance yesterday, and how you still buzzing?
Oh, lad, I'm on cloud 9. I mean, it went a lot better than what I expected. Yeah. Well, actually, no. To be fair, I predicted 5-0. I did think we'd send out a statement win, but I think we played a lot better than what I was expecting. Look, I've made a big thing about, needing a better defenders in here, etc. And I still maintain that because everyone was telling me, no, Dave, creativity is the problem. Well, if creativity was the problem, we wouldn't have scored 4 yesterday. But my point is, we were dominating that open spell of the games. That goal shouldn't have happened. Now, look, I know Højbjerg is at fault. But where's that leader at the back line, like shouting at Højbjerg, roaring at him, telling him that James Ward-Prowse is there? Look, Højbjerg should know he there. If Spurs should be picking up anybody and not allowing anybody to be in around the box free, it's James Ward-Prowse. So that should never have happened. But there's no leader back there screaming at Højbjerg, making him aware that Ward-Prowse is there, So we still lack that sort of leader at the back. But after that, I mean, we just absolutely balled out. First of all, big up Rocket Boots, absolutely love that. Kneeling down to me. That's what he was doing, kneeling down to me, lad, and getting the head on it. Absolutely love that.
On me head.
But I think, look, ultimately, I was a bit disappointed with Kane and Son yesterday. I know Son got the assist for Dyer's goal, but the fact that we can win 4-1 and none of them were on the score sheet, didn't really play well or have too much of an influence in the game, was unbelievable. I think Benteke's in midfield. I mean, I absolutely love watching that guy. Yeah. If you look at him, he reminds me a bit of Modric. I'm not saying he's as good as Modric, but what he is good at is anytime you look at him, he's always in 10, 15 yards of space. Anytime you look at him. And he's just an absolute beautiful midfielder to watch. He dominated that game, dictated that game yesterday. Then you look at Sessegnon. That's my new nickname for him, Sessegnon. I mean, he carried an absolute goal threat all that first half and the second half in behind every single time over Kyle Walker-Peters. And it just goes to show, we were probably justified selling Kyle Walker-Peters. This isn't the first time Spurs are targeting him since we sold him. That game where Sonny scored 4 against them, that we also targeted him that game. So the blueprint was there, and Antonio Conte just copied and pasted that. Long balls, get him in over Kyle Walker-Peters' head. And Sessegnon got on the end of it. I thought King Royal at right wing back. I thought he had a very good game yesterday. He's had a lot of critics. In fact, he was rumoured to leave this summer. Everyone put him favourite to be sold, etc., etc. And he came out and put in a performance like that. Absolutely unbelievable. And then you have Kulusevski. I mean, this guy is just absolutely world class. World class. I mean, his first touch is exquisite. It doesn't matter whether you show him on the inside or the outside. He's going to beat you. He proved that yesterday. Put inside for the cross, they couldn't stop it. Went on the outside a couple of times, they could not stop him. Absolutely unbelievable. That guy is world class. I'm saying it now. I went early with Romero and everyone was like, oh, Dave, how can you do that? Well, I'm not waiting on Kulusevski either. The guy's world class.
No.
I mean, I agree with you yesterday, Dave, when you said about we need to stop calling these players rejects, and you said about the new player from Udinese that we're playing in. I agree with everything you said there yesterday, and I've said it tonight on the stream, that we need to get off these players' backs. I mean, if these are rejects.
Let's not take it out of context. Likes of Winks, Ndombele, and Celso, feel free to have rain.
Yeah,
What I meant by that, Dermot, is the signing. It looks like we're going to get a Doji. And what I meant by when I said that is look what we've done to Kulusevski and Bentancur because Buddy already got here. Everyone took their frustrations out on what the club were doing and how the club were operating on these guys, and they were automatically labelled rejects before they even got here, before they even touched the football pitch, before anyone even got to lay their eyes on them in the Tottenham jersey. And this isn't a dig at anybody. This was 95% of the fan base because they were frustrated at the club. And even though, look, we should be signing for the here and now, and we shouldn't be spending that sort of money on a guy that we're ultimately going to be loaning out, etc., etc. But I do understand that if this deal has become available and he's Perisic's long-term replacement, you also have to act on it as well. But do not take your frustrations, if you are unhappy with the window, do not take your frustrations out on the kid and put him down and criticize him and everything else before he even gets here. Make sure your frustrations is aimed at the club if that's where your frustrations are with this sort of deal, and not the player, because we should have learned our lessons with the January transfer window.
I mean, that's what I was saying. I didn't try to take anything said out of turn. I was trying to.
I was going to say, no, you can have free reign at Sanchez and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy Sanchez wasn't playing. I mean, I was absolutely over the moon. I got a bit scared when I saw him on the bench and thinking, "Oh Lord Jesus!" But I tell you one thing, I agree wholeheartedly what you said, Dave. I mean, it's spot on what you said. We too quickly getting on players' backs, and we don't give them a chance. And if we got the likes of Romero and Kulusevski, we can get deals like that again. Go for them, because they bring something different to the club. That they bring. I mean, Decky yesterday was unplayable. You could put him in any team in the world, and he would still put in the same performance. And he's at our club. Romero, that tackle. I mean, for me, that tackle was tackle of the match. Yeah, we have such a team such a manager, such a chance to be so successful this season. Let's grab it with both hands. Let's run with it. Let's show the world that Tottenham Hotspur are back, and we're back in the big way.
One person now. That's up the one person. We all know who that is. We won't get into this.
Yeah.
Ellie. Dave.
Football is about opinions. Yeah, everybody's got their opinions, right? Yeah. So we can't always bash somebody who's got an opinion about something, but the main thing is we all stick together. We all support one club. We all hold together as a fan base and not get at each other. Because if we do that, then all we're doing is arguing with each other. Everybody's got different opinions, so we've got to be clear on that. In terms of Kulusevski, I agree with David. He's world class, the boy. World class.
Yeah.
He's fabulous, and I like watching him play as well. Because there's world class players that I don't particularly like watching because they're a bit arrogant. You know, they'll do the occasional thing here and then, and they'll take their foot off the gas, right? Because they're a bit arrogant. But Kulusevski's committed. You know, he gives 100%, that boy. And when he gets the ball, he protects the ball. When we've lost it, he'll fight for it back. That's why I like him. Because there's world-class players who won't do that. And he does.
Bad at TFC, I'll read this out, Dave. Dave, I haven't got the chance before to say this, but since the start of 2021, I am one of your biggest fans. Yes. It's a daily thing for me. I really love your channel. And Dermot's one great community.
Well
Thank
said.
you so much. Dave deserves this. I will say it now. Dave is one of the nicest, loveliest men you'll ever wish to meet on YouTube. I know Dave personally as well from off YouTube. He is the same off screen as he is on screen. He is a perfect gentleman. He's got a heart of gold. And it's a pleasure to know him. And everyone, like Badder TV, your channel's the best on YouTube. And I'm not just saying that because you're on here. It's the truth. And we'll always say that. Me.
Come on, you guys. You know I can't deal with all this. So I'd rather you call me a prick or something like, you know.
No.
I'll tell you what. To change your mind, give us your numbers for the players, your player ratings here for the team.
First of all, big up Badder, man. That's an absolute unbelievable comment. I really do appreciate that, brother. And look, I love every single one of you just as much as you love me. Believe that, my man.
And it's well deserved, David.
No, I appreciate it. Player ratings. Larissa 7. He didn't really have too much to do, to be fair. I'd give the whole look. Actually, Dyer, I'd give him an 8. He scored a goal. He didn't put a foot wrong really defensively. Davies, I'd probably give an 8, and Romero, I'd give an 8. I don't think they've done anything wrong. I think they dealt with a lot of the danger comfortably enough. Actually, no, Davies and Romero, no. Actually, no. Sorry, I'm going to give Davies and Romero a 7 because, in fairness, they didn't really have too much to do either. We dominated that second half. Royal and Sessegnon, I'm going to give 8s as well. I thought they were absolutely phenomenal. Bentancur an 8, Højbjerg a 7, Kulusevski a 9, Kane a 7, and Son a 7 as well, I think. One thing I do want to say, actually, is you see that second half. The reason why we outplayed Southampton is because of the fitness. You see what we done in pre-season. That's what stood to us in the second half. Southampton could not live with that intensity. They came at us in the first half, hoping to put us under the early pressure like they did where they got the goal, etc., and looked to hang on all second half. And it did not happen. And without that good Irish goalkeeper in there, Bazunu, it could have easily been 7 on another day.
How do you think he played yesterday, David? Actually, very on an Irish sort of thing. I thought he played quite well, actually.
Yeah, very well. Some of the close range saves he made were absolutely unbelievable. One thing I don't think many people got to see, which I think they will see, is the guy's distribution. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. But our fitness yesterday was what ultimately went on and dominated that second half. Their intensity dropped. They could not keep that going for 90 minutes where we could. Where have I seen that before? Under Pochettino. That's where I last seen that. So for me, I think our fitness is going to stand to us. Look, if you don't have the quality right throughout the pitch of a Liverpool and City, then you have to be able to outwork them, outrun them, and stuff like that. And that's where that fitness is going to come into it. And that's where it's really going to help us this year. And that can be the difference. And that can be what can help us close the gap now. The fact that we don't just have 11 players thinking the same way. We now have 16, 17, 18 players thinking the same way. And that's what I think we're going to be in for a good season, because especially if we can get off to a good start, because some clubs will get off to a slow start. It's still going to take their time to sort of work up to the full 90 minutes. If we can just keep picking up things, like Chelsea next week is going to be so important already. It'll be, there's no reason why we can't be up around the top, if not on the top, before the World Cup, and then anything after that, you're in the race.
Yeah, and
I was just saying, David, that I was impressed with our aggressive play and our pressing. It reminded me of Poch's years, but even more aggressive than Poch's team. We were like terriers. We were on them, when they had the ball, we were there. The tackles we put in were fabulous. We didn't give them a chance.
But do you know why we were? I think this is just me personally, and I agree with you. I think our pressing was good, but you know what, Ellie, was refreshing to see. And the reason why I think it worked, the reason why I think we were able to do it, is last season, Pochettino came in mid-season. Now, after one of the Europa Conference League games, usually it's a day off, but what he'd done is he had them in doing training straight away, extra training, stuff like that. So last season, he was trying to work on their fitness to get them to anywhere near his sort of levels, plus handle the games. Whereas now he's had the full preseason. Last season, if you notice, when we lost the ball, we were happy to sit back in shape, be patient, wait to get it back and counterattack. Whereas yesterday, we pressed them higher up the field. We did. And again, the reason why I think we're able to do that, Ellie, is because of the fitness levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think
the fitness is a big thing? No, I was going to say the fitness 100%, but you also need the winning the ball, because you can have all the fitness in the world, but if you don't win that ball back for your team and you press as a team, because if you get 3 or 4 players pressing and the rest are just slacking off, it doesn't work. You've got to have that intensity, like you said, David. The intensity in the press and the aggression to win that ball when you haven't got it.
I love
work hard off the ball as well.
What I loved about Ellie is, like, when you seen the front three go, the midfield pushed up, and then it left them. And I noticed this a couple of times. We kind of left them passing it out wide, and then all of a sudden, Emerson and Sessegnon would appear out of nowhere and press their man, and then we all of a sudden have them penned in. They can't go anywhere. All they can do goes backwards, and we're already high up the field. We're engaging with them a lot higher, which means then you're not putting that pressure on your back line as much, where you're looking to sit back, fill it up. You're inviting balls into the box for them to deal with. When you pen them higher up the pitch, it's all around better for our back line, and it's easier for us to get a grip of the game. And when we win the ball, we're already up in their half, rather than trying to play it the length of the pitch.
Yeah, I mean...
the only time I think we're going to become unstuck with that is when you get the better passing teams. The teams that can play through you, or just lob one 60-yard pass on the foot of their striker, who's running in from behind. We could get caught like that if we don't stay disciplined at the back as well. So we can't always all push up. We have to allow 4 or 5 of them press in, and then the 3 in midfield and the 2 on the wings, they hold tight as a unit. So we don't get found out by the better passing teams.
I mean, yes. Sorry, Dave. You're going to say sorry. I didn't mean to cut across, Dave.
No. I was just saying I agree with Ellie.
Yesterday was absolutely brilliant, Dave. It was a great start for us. Our biggest win since 1986, as Philip said earlier. Do you know, how confident are you we're going to do something special this season?
I actually think... how confident am I? Look, Darren, I mean, that's a silly question. I'm always confident.
I know you are.
Yeah, you're Mr. Confidence.
You ask me every single season. I think we can win everything. In my eyes, Tottenham are the best football club in the world. You know what I mean? And on our day, we can beat anybody. And that's I'd rather live by that to be honest with you. I live in the hope that on our day we can beat anybody. So for me, look, I genuinely don't see why we can't catch Liverpool or City. You know, Liverpool didn't get off to the best of starts yesterday, so we're already 2 points on them. You know what I mean? Yes, City have the strength in depth, and look, they're going to be very, very hard to catch. But, you know, other teams around the Premier League are getting better as well. So, you know, hopefully they can knock some of them 22 points off, and we can pick up points. You look at the window we have, and I think what will help us is, at times last season, look, Antonio Conte knew he couldn't change things. He didn't have the personnel to change formation, change the style of play, you know, change it during games, stuff like that. Whereas this season he does. If things aren't working, drop one out, bring one in. It's not a problem. We do have a bit of strength and depth there. Now, I would like the club to get 1 or 2 more signings in here to really give it a right go, give it all the opportunities available. Because what I don't want to do is have another missed opportunity like we did on the Pochettino. Now, look, I don't want that to happen. And for me, while Liverpool have lost Mane, they're going to go through a bit of a transition stage with this guy Nuno, or whatever you want to call him, fucking Darwin Núñez, you know. And look, City and Liverpool at one stage, they've been going 4 or 5 years now. One of them is going to be drop off. One of them will have a drop off eventually. One of them. Yeah. And that's where we have to be ready to swoop in. All of a sudden, then you're the second best in the Premier League. Then you can start every single season. Your ambitions then, you're looking at identifying in what areas then you can bring in to improve this squad to help you win that league and close that gap. But you have to be in that position to be ready to swoop. Because with Pochettino, look, the reason why we had a lot of success is because Liverpool were rebuilding, City were rebuilding, United weren't the same force they were. So a lot of the big clubs up there were all sort of going through rebuilding phases and stuff like that. So we were able to kind of get up there. So we have to be ready, put ourselves in the best position. So when that does happen again, we're the top dogs.
I mean, Mr. Edgerson said it was 3-0 away to Aston Villa, the 86-87 season. And we all know what happened that season. Had a good season in the league, got to a semi-final of the League Cup, and we got to the 87 Cup final. So, do you know what I mean? Yeah. These things have a way of coming round. I mean, for me, Dave, I'm so excited. I've been this excited since the 80s. I think we have a golden opportunity to match the Super Spurs of the 60s. And I've said it before. You know that I've said that before in your show. We rarely have this opportunity. We need to grab it with both hands and run with it. We need to show that we are Tottenham. We're a big club anyway. We need to show we're a big club. And then you say,
do you know what? Can I say something to that?
Yeah,
I think we've got our Dave Mackay at the back in Romero. We've got our Jimmy Greaves up front with Harry Kane because he can score for fun. Now we need somebody like a Glenn Hoddle who can pick out passes and create chances with the vision of Hoddle, or even Modric. Someone in that ilk. We need someone there to be creative, because when you're coming up against the better teams, because Southampton, they're not one of the better teams in the league. We know this. Yeah. When we're coming up against the better teams, then we might get found out. Lack of creativity from the middle. That's no spite on Bentancur or Højbjerg, but they're not the most creative players. So I still feel that we need to bring somebody in like that. If not, we get a creative right wing back who can pick out passes.
Conte don't play with the creativity, though. Conte doesn't play with the
he has in the past. He brought in Emerson and he didn't play him, right?
Yeah.
And then he realised that he's not going to win the league without the creativity. Yeah. So I think he does like creative players, but I just feel we lack a little bit in the middle of the park. And that's hard for me to say because I love Højbjerg. He gives you everything that you want from a midfielder, but he's not going to do 20 assists, is he? Or even 15 assists. And he's not going to score you 15 to 20 goals. We're lacking that. So we need to strengthen in that department. Somebody who's going to get us those goals. Kulu will chip in.
Yeah.
Richarlison will chip in. Right? Perisic will chip in. But I just feel to go that extra mile, I think we need that player.
Just, I might caveat that, Ellie.
course you
Look,
can.
I'm not saying.
You're the
I'm not
Irish
saying.
Hotspur.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be nice to get that creative option that if the game is needed and crying out for that you can bring him off the bench and put him in there. I'm not saying we don't need that, but when I look at it and you look at some of our wins last season, we shouldn't have to be scoring 2, 3, 4 goals every single game just to win a game. At some stage, you have to be able to rely on that back line to hold out and get 1-0 wins. And that's the difference with this Tottenham team last season. We couldn't grind out 1-0 wins. We couldn't grind out draws if we didn't have the answers going forward last season. Last season, we failed to score in 16 games out of, I think it was 54. Now, look, that's not ideal. Ideally, you want that to be about 7 games max across the season. Even that's probably a bit too much. That's not ideal. But we conceded in 35 out of the 54. That's too many. That's too many because you start a game at 0-0. You're already starting in a position of power. You're coming out with a point. But the rate we're conceding goals and the goals in the manner of the ways we concede them at times, like for instance, United. Why couldn't we hold out against United? You know,
we were in that game as well. You know, we weren't far off that game.
There's so many games like that. So many games like that. Leicester City, we had to beat 3. We had to rely on a last-minute goal to get over the line and stuff. You can't keep relying on that every single season. At some stage, you have to have a solid defence. You look at the great Sir Alex Ferguson, who had a handle on the Premier League for 20-plus years. He had a world-class defence, world-class midfield, and a world-class attack line. After that, he had sort of a step down in players, sort of like players to come off the bench, but they all worked hard. And for me, you have to be able to rely on that back line. We don't. The reason why Pochettino got sacked, it wasn't because we couldn't score goals. We couldn't keep them out. The reason why Jose Mourinho got sacked, it wasn't because we couldn't score goals. We couldn't keep them out. Now, the reason why Nuno got sacked is because we couldn't score goals. But if you look back at his Wolves team, they weren't the greatest goal scorers. That's a Nuno problem. Now, we've got the last 2 Golden Boot winners in our team, Son and Kane. You know, you can't get more goals in this team. We're lucky we found Kulusevski, but you've got 2 Golden Boot winners in your team. You're not going to be able to provide much more goals to this team. The answer is improving that back line. Since Toby and Jan Vertonghen have gone, we keep going with the same answers every single season. Dyer, Sanchez, Davies, etc., etc. Now, down to Conte's man management, because he's being able to get more confidence in them and get a bit more out of them. That back line is somewhat a bit cohesive. But we still have to improve on that. Like Dyer under
agree.
Dyer under Jose Mourinho and stuff like that were not good enough. Sanchez were not good enough. We were conceding goals at a massive rate. And you can say that's because, you know, you're putting pressure on the back line. Yeah, well, every back line has to deal with pressure, but it's how you handle it. And this defense is not championship worthy. Chelsea were out there looking for centre-backs this summer. Their first thought wasn't coming and going getting, we'll go and get Sanchez, Dyer, or Davies.
I know.
Because they're not good enough for them. They're not good enough.
We've got the 4th best defensive record only.
Yeah.
That means you're going to finish 4th. So I do agree with you. But I also feel we've got to strengthen both. Yeah? We've got to get more goals. Because we didn't score as many as Man City or Liverpool. They were way ahead of us on goals. And goals win games as well. It's not just defences. Defence
but Ellie,
is
we're
very,
always going
very...
to score a goal for Kane and Son.
Yeah, I agree.
But even under Jose Mourinho,
if we get another goal scorer, David, if we get another midfielder who can score goals and we can improve on our defence from 4th to 2nd or 1st, we've got a fantastic chance of winning that league title.
You look what Liverpool done. When they were going
they brought in Van Dijk.
And they got to the Champions League final under Jurgen Klopp, and Karius made the errors and stuff like that. All season long, they were beating teams 4-3, 3-2, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
Now, Jurgen Klopp looked at his team and says, well, hang on, I can't get much more goals in here. Creativity is not the problem. My problem is my goalkeeper and my centre-back. We cannot keep teams out. Now, look what went and happened when they went and spent money on Virgil van Dijk and Alisson. They completely transformed their team. All of a sudden, they're nowhere near as vulnerable at the back as they were before that. And that's what I'm saying Tottenham need to do. We need
I know, you're right. Defensive win leagues.
They do.
I mean,
I mean, defensively, we've always been leaky. Dave is right. You can go back.
Yeah,
even under Jose Mourinho,
defensive win leagues.
Even under
Defensive
Jose
win leagues.
Mourinho,
There's no argument about that.
even under Jose Mourinho, right? We were operating. Everyone knew Kane and Son. That's our only threat. But they still went on to have an unbelievable season together, posting absolute unbelievable numbers. The thing is, Kane and Son will always get you goals in the team. This team's problem is the back line. You improve that back line, all of a sudden you're putting yourself at the back of Liverpool and Man City. Man City, look at the attacking talent they have, but they still went out and spent massive money on Diaz before, John Stones and stuff, because they realized they have to improve that back line. You know what I mean? And we have to now put ourselves in that position. That's why bringing in a world-class centre-back who, and when you find that world-class centre-back, what you're going to get in him is someone that's shouting at people as soon as he walks in the door, organising that defence. When a ball comes in, he's the one that's going to go and meet that. He's not looking around waiting on anyone, is anyone else going to do it for me? He goes and does it. He'll take control of that situation. And that's what we need at this club to catapult us in order to catch Man City and to catch Liverpool now at this moment in time after the transfer window we've had.
Yeah, I agree with you. I want to say big up to Brad Matthews. Please, everyone go over to Brad's channel as well. He does his own music and his music is brilliant. I've watched some of his stuff. He says forwards wins your matches, but defenders win your titles. And you are right to say it, Dave. You had the Man United side, the Liverpool sides of the 80s. You look at all the biggest teams in the world that have been most successful, they start with a mean defence. I even hate to say it, even the George Graham sides, when they beat Liverpool the league in 88, 89, a mean defence. And that defence stayed together for God knows how many years at Arsenal. Adams, Bold, Winterburn and Dixon. And it was all, and the goalkeeper. You start with your back line.
Yeah.
Bill Nick was the same. You start with your back line and you move forward. And I think if you get one centre-back in, I think that will plug the gap. But I think we also need to look at our goalkeeper and see who we can get better to improve on them as well. And myself, Bentancur needs to be our new captain because I think, not Bentancur, Romero. I think he has. Do you think so? Do you really think so?
You ask anyone that doesn't follow Tottenham, they think Harry Kane is our captain anyway, lad.
I know.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but would Romero be a better captain for shouting and for the way he goes about his playing and how he puffs out his chest and he said, "You're not beating me today." He leads by example.
Look, for me, when I look at Romero, I don't see him talk too much on the football pitch. He just goes and does his work. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to stand there beside Dyer and ask him what his wife was doing last night. You know, he's like, "No, look, I'm bored. I'm going to get the ball. I'm not speaking to you, Dyer." You know what I mean? I'm off. You know, and he goes and wins the ball. He doesn't need to be shouting and roaring. Look, for me, what you're looking for in a captain, Dermot, is someone that, when your team are not going through the best spells, someone that can pick up the ball and start dominating the game, or someone that will get stuck in, muck in, someone that's running over to referees, which was great to see, by the way, yesterday on that penalty call. How quickly, even though we were already 4-1 up, how quickly they were to swarm the referee. How many times have you heard me screaming about that? Jose Mourinho's Chelsea team used to do it all the time. Alex Ferguson's United team used to do it all the time. And is there any coincidence when the decisions, when the game was in the balance, they used to get the decisions sometimes that would turn the game? No, because they're always in the referee's mind. At the end of the day, the referee's human. You know, you're going to be able to manipulate that mind somehow or get into his head somehow and start getting him to give you them favourable decisions. Yeah. And someone that, you know, on the training ground will put people right, like Robbie Keane with Edgar Davids. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember.
That's what you need. You need a leader of men to be your captain.
Yeah. I mean, Mark, would you Holberg for you? Who would you have as captain?
It's I don't want to upset David, but I don't believe a striker should be the captain. See, you need someone in the middle. You need someone, and I don't agree with a goalkeeper being the captain either. It needs to be and it needs to be someone in the back line or a central midfielder, and so they can see the whole pitch. And you know, they haven't literally got to burst their lungs to shout with someone who's, you know, you're always, if you're in the midfield, you're always close to the players.
correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. Now, let me ask you this. But, like, for me, when I was sort of growing up until maybe about 10 years ago, captains in most teams were always either a centre-back or a centre midfielder.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Because you're right in amongst the action. You know?
I mean, you look, Mark.
Point.
Sorry.
Hey, sorry.
Go on. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
No. What was you going to ask?
You got Steve Perryman, our greatest ever captain, a midfielder. Yes. You look at the great Liverpool sides, Graham Souness, a midfielder. You look at Danny Blanchflower, he was sort of defender stroke midfielder in the 60s side.
Yeah.
You even look at Gary Mabbott, another great example of being a captain.
I was waiting for you to say him. I thought you were just trying to wind me up by not mentioning him.
No, but you look at players like that. Even Robbie Keane, I think, captained us once or twice, I think. And David's right, they're all leader of men. They all will go in and they'll say, you follow me or you just get out.
But what you need from your captain as well is someone new that walks into this club that there's no dicking about. Like, the reason why the likes of an Ndombele, Lo Celso and stuff like that have been able to happen over the last few years is because, for me, like, Hugo Lloris is off doing goalkeeper training, separate away from the football club.
Yeah.
So he's not there when these outfield players are out there dicking about, doing absolutely fuck all, not doing extra training work and stuff like that. The reason why that's allowed to happen is because Hugo Lloris isn't there. You know, Hugo Lloris is off doing his own training. When new signers walk into this club, they need a friendly welcome and a friendly reminder. You listen to Steven Gerrard or even some of the United players when they talk. When new signings came in here, they fizzed the ball into them, blasting the ball at them, putting them under pressure straight away and saying, look, these are the standards of this football club. You better get with it very, very quickly, you know. And over the last few years, there's been obviously in and around that sort of circle, because Hugo Lloris does off doing his own training, there's been no one there doing that. And that's why some of the shit that's happened at this football club over the last few years with these players has been allowed to happen.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. It's like you said, Hugo's off with the goalkeeping coaches. He's not like saying, you know, if they come in and start dicking about like Dele Alli, he's not going to go over and kick him up the arse, is he?
No.
And it's like I said, it should be someone in the middle, central midfielder, centre back, someone who's in amongst the thick of the action.
Yeah,
that's the captain. I've never agreed with goalies being. I don't see the point.
It drives me
goalkeeper being captain. Yeah.
We've got Graham Roberts. Sorry about that. I just had to pop to the little lad's room. Sorry. Graham Roberts, another captain, captain of the '84 UEFA Cup final.
Yeah, Christ. That's only because Steve Perryman was suspended.
Yeah, Dave, we have an opportunity to match great teams of the past. What for you would be a successful season this year? I mean, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of channels of different things or different what would be successful. For me personally, it would be top three in the cup. I think the same as most people. I would love a cup double. I really would. But do you think finishing higher in the league and a cup, would that mean progress for you? Or like if we finish third and runners up in the cup, would that be progress for you for this season?
Look, I think we need to win a trophy this year. Conte's not here for anything else. We haven't spent the money or made the drastic changes to the squad that we've done in the transfer window to not win anything. You know, at the end of the day, in order to even win a domestic, an FA Cup or a League Cup nowadays, you know, you have to be able to compete with Man City or Liverpool. They're always in and around the semi-finals or the finals, you know, especially over the last decade. You go back and look at a lot of the winners. You know, you look how many years were City before it was taken over. I think 4 or 5 years on the trot with the League Cup alone.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, so you have to now improve your squad just to even go and get a domestic trophy. So, look, for me, I think we're starting. Our squad is getting to that level. What I will say is Conte will outsmart Klopp in terms of tactics, but we'll always outwork City. I think we'll always outwork City, and that's why we beat them. So for me, with the improved squad we have now, with better options that we were able to change in and around the game and stuff like that, I don't see why we can't pick up a domestic. And I'll be honest, we need to capitalize on Chelsea. Look, they have that fucking Ted Lasso in there now. You know, I mean, thinking he's playing Football Manager.
Yeah.
And they're going to get into a big, massive mess before they kind of get sorted out. So now we've been sitting there waiting in the wings last season. Conte put us in that position. We've acted in the summer. Now's the time to take Chelsea out. Assert some dominance around London, because become the most dominant team in London, and that'll put you in title challenges. Once you're in title challenges, then you have every chance of success, and that's what I'm looking for this season. Put me in with a shout, and let's see what fucking happens.
That's all we want, isn't it, Dave? That's all we want. Yeah. It's that one trophy, and then that leads to the next trophy. Steve Perriman said it. Once you win one, it's like a domino effect. You want the taste of it again.
But that's it. We just need to get that hoodoo off our back. That's all we need to do. Liverpool got that Premier League hoodoo off the back, and now all of a sudden they're challenging every single season because they know what it takes. They've been there, they've done it, and they're hungry for it, And for us, we just need to get that trophy over the line. If we would have got one over the line under Pochettino, that squad would have continued that feeling, that hunger, that desire, and everything else. Yeah. And we would still be in the mix to this day. The fact that we couldn't get over the line, and look, that comes down to mentality. That comes down to even mentality from Pochettino. And I love Pochettino. Don't get me wrong. But if my old lad can see him crying in a press conference after beating Ajax and turns around to me and says he's too emotional, we're going to lose that final. And then you look at some of the decisions he made. Dropping Lucas Moura, who performed the heroics in Ajax, when you've got to feed off that. You've got to start him and, be concentrating on all week. Like, look what you've done for us last game. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You look at Jurgen Klopp the first time he went into it against Madrid. Karius beat him. But then the second time, when he came up against us, he had that experience. So Liverpool did not panic. They went 1-0 up and they were able to control that game. They were able to kind of see out the game and then catch us near the end and put it beyond doubt. And that comes down to the experience from the manager and being able to know how to handle being in and around finals, the expectations, how to calm your team and not let them get carried away or caught up in it. Pochettino probably just did not have that experience, whereas Conte does. So get me there, and Conte will do it.
I mean, I'm like you, Dave, in Conte we trust. I mean, you know me, Dave. I do say public what I say privately to you. I do, but I believe in this team and this club so much. It's like having a second. Tottenham's my second family, and it's a bit like you. We all support the team, so we do it. Just quickly before we end, Dave, and thank you so much for coming on. It's absolute.
I feel like I'm taking over the show, lad. You, Mark, and Ellie were having a great discussion.
No, you're grand. I'm grand. I don't know. We were nearly going 3 hours, so I needed the trip to the little boys' room. So I was glad to have you here because I knew you could carry on. The Premier League's back. We're all excited. Football's back in the telly. We've got the World Cup coming in November, which we will be doing the show on that, and hopefully you will be able to join us, Dave, because I would love your thoughts on that, because I think it's a disgrace. Philip Brady does as well. I love his rants on it. Which result over the weekend impressed you? Which other team, apart from our result, which other teams impressed you, including the promoted teams, and what game impressed you the most?
None. We had the best result of the weekend. There was no better game. No better game. No. Look, I'll be honest. Look, Bournemouth winning, great. You know what I mean? But I'll be honest, I couldn't care less.
No.
Brighton winning today. Yeah, fantastic. Nice to see United still in the shit. But I couldn't care less. I don't care what. Look, I enjoy watching the other football and stuff like that. But I have a reason to hate nearly every other team in this league. They've always done something to Tottenham or spoke about Tottenham or something. That's pissed me off. And at the end of the day, Dermot, couldn't care what they do. Yeah. My focus is on Tottenham. I enjoy watching everything else, but no one else impresses me, lad. I'm a very hard man to impress, and only Tottenham can impress me or my missus or my parents.
That's fair enough. We nickname Ellie the Ghost on this channel. She's like Jack White. She's a ghost because she's there 1 minute, she goes the next. She says the ghost needs to charge up her phone, but I'll stay in the chat. It will only disturb the stream as it snaps, crackles, and pops. When I have it charged, charger in Dermot. Big up. I mean, Ellie's I'm so lucky to have Ellie, Philip Brady, Mark on this channel. Izan as well. I'm so blessed to have all of you. I really am so blessed. Listen, Dave, it's been a pleasure having you on, sir. I'm glad you're feeling better. You do look better, I have to say. everyone, please get over. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Dave, tell everyone what's coming up in the Irish Hotspur this week, and where can people find you and Jack?
Yeah, first of all, Ellie's my rival for #1 Spurs fan. Big up, Ellie. Yeah, what's coming up, guys? So, look, we run a fan show every Monday, so if that's any interest to you and you want to hear what the Spurs fans are saying, simply come and join us. I'll kick it off at 8 o'clock every Monday. Tuesday, we'll be doing a show with, we have Ben from We Are Tottenham TV on. I think Sean is on. I'm not sure who else is on or that yet. And then Wednesday, Dermot, is the start of the Boys in Green Talk Tottenham.
I can't wait for that.
That'll be kicking off this week. I was supposed to do it last week, but we all know what went on there, so that couldn't happen. And then, we'll be rolling out the new format of Stats with Jack, which people seem to have really enjoyed. The new format for the predicted lineup, which people seem to have really enjoyed. So they'll be out again next week. And look, I mean, it's me, Dermot. Anything can happen next week. I mean, just watch out and get over there and smash the subscribe button. But what I will say to anybody here, everybody, massive thank you for your support for these boys. You know, I've such great time for Dermot, for Ellie, for Mark, Isan, Philip. You know, so a massive thank you to you guys for the support that you do give over here. And make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. I think you'll all agree the content is getting better and better and better the more they're doing it. So, guys, keep getting behind them. It's an absolute... Look, the Irish Hotspur endorses THFC till I die. There you are.
Well, there you go. You cannot ask for any more to be endorsed by the king of YouTube. I mean, look, it's in there. The link for his channel is in the chat. Please, everyone, let's get them to 8,000K. Hit that subscription, hit that like button, and get your memberships. Because I'll tell you one thing, the fan shows are a great laugh to go on. They really are good. And he's put, oh, yeah, exactly. Tomorrow's going to be a blast, by the way. Born and bred in Tottenham. David, you are the best from Kildare. I'm the best from Tottenham. Dermot, the best from Wexford. And Mark, the best from the West. Yeah, well, big up, Ellie. Well, Dave knows that Wexford is the #1 county in Ireland, but we will have that argument later.
Do you know where my rival with Ellie from #1 Spurs fan comes with, right? So I was over my parents minding the dogs for a week while they were to let them go away on holiday and that. And my sister wanted to see the match blog from the time me and Jack were at West Ham. So I put it up on the telly and we were watching it. And he was like, "Oh, who's that lady?" And I was like, "Oh, that's Ellie." And she was like, she started laughing. And I was like, "What are you laughing at?" She goes, "You think you're the most passionate, but she rivals you. You know, she's now your rival for #1 passionate Spurs fan." So I was like, I'm going to say that to her. So now I know Ellie probably doesn't feel like she's a part of it, but now me and Ellie, in my head, me and Ellie now are rivals for most passionate Spurs fan.
I'll tell you one thing. I see you two together, all right, doing the show, just you and Ellie. Passionate contest. I don't know who would win because that would go on for days. But listen.
By the way, actually, me and Ellie are also quiz champions. Ellie, we need to roll it back out again. Me and you need to get on Spurs related someday. You know, there's too many quizzes happening around here without us being involved. Ellie, let's reassert our dominance and get back to champ status.
Yeah. Can I just state that night we did the quiz on your channel? My partner wouldn't listen to me for the answers, and I was sick at the time, so I want a redemption on that. I'll have to find a better partner and have my redemption, because I'm sure I can push you and Ellie all the way. But listen, Mark, where can people find you, sir?
On here. On here.
Short and simple.
Yeah. I will give a big shout out to South Dorset Spurs, who I infiltrated, and I'm going to the Everton game, even though I'm north of the border from them, but they let me join. So big up to them.
Yeah, well, big up, Mark. And sound brilliant. Listen, we'll be back on Tuesday. Ellie be hosting. She's doing the Gary Mabbott, I think, special on Tuesday.
No, it isn't.
No, it was on Saturday. Sorry.
Yeah.
See, even I mocked it up. Ellie will be hosting the game on Tuesday. We're back on Thursday or Friday with our golden game for Chelsea. We're going to go back through the archives, see some old Chelsea Tottenham games from the bridge. and then we're doing our pre-match, and then we're doing a watch along next Sunday for it, and then we're back, I think, Monday or Tuesday with our post-match show. But listen, everyone, please hit a like, hit a subscription on this channel. Let's get the 560 before the Chelsea game. That is what we want. Please, everyone, go over to Dave's channel, hit a like, hit the subscription on this channel. Mark, thank you very much. Philip Brady, the Godfather, it was an honour to have you on. Ellie, a diamond as always. She's my right-hand lady on this channel. She really is such a content. Yeah, and Dave's rival. Izan as well. Dave, great to have you on, sir. It's been so long since it's been a long time, but lovely to have you on. Everyone, go over to the Irish Hotspur. And whatever you do, let's enjoy this week. Let's all gear up for Chelsea. Let's batter them West London wankers. And let's go and get 3 points from the bridge. Do you want to take us out, Dave?
I'll be back. Dermatron.
Yeah. And Conte, we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.